All right. Which one of you rats is using my credit card at Panera Bread? Hey everybody. Rough and tough. My name is Bossymoon, and I'm the leader of the Blue Moon Wolf Gang, here to force you to do crimes. And today we're lost in the woods together. But I just got a notification that one of you is using my credit card at Panera Bread. Please stop that. Please stop immediately. Hello everybody. Rough and tough. My name is Bossymoon, and I'm the leader of the Blue Moon Wolf Gang, here to force you to do crimes. And today, we are indeed lost in the woods. I think there's someone behind me. I've been walking for like an hour now. I'm too scared to look behind me. Sometimes, listen, even your boss is scared of things sometimes, okay? All right? Even your boss gets a little bit scared. Also, her body has rabies. I don't know what that's about. Hold on, let me adjust. There we go. I adjusted you guys on my phone. It's interesting that my wolf phone still gets internet out here. There definitely isn't a government bunker somewhere around here pulsing an internet connection into the world. Probably this forest is just a normal forest with really good internet. Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. It's good to see you. I'm so sorry about my absences. I had a bit of tech issues. It looks like I'm still having a bit of tech issues. I had a bit of tech issues, but I'm back now and better than ever, and it's good to see everyone. Today we're going to have a really chill Zatsu sesh in this scary forest that I'm lost in. This is the forest of tech issues. Yes, this is the forest of ISP providers. You can see every single tree represents someone slain by the ISP providers. There's a forest of them, hotties. Welcome in, everybody. Hi. How's your week been so far? Hello. We still have minor issues, but I think we're okay. I think we're mostly okay. It's good to see everyone. Let's say hi to each other before we get yapping, before we try and escape this forest together, shall we? Hello, MDK. It's good to see you. Hello, Greed. Hello, Chewy. Hello, Kano. Hello, Zane. It does just work. Welcome in. Hi, happy Tuesday. Hi, Legend. I got a moldy piece of beef jerky. Let's go. Oh, yeah, thank you for the first redeem, Legend. I appreciate that. Goes, thank you so much for the sub for 9 months. That'll definitely help me get out of this spooky, spooky forest. Thank you. I appreciate that. Over on the red side, we've got, oh my God, what happened? What happened to you guys? Red site? Who did this to you? Hey, red site, why are your names so fricked up? What happened? Who did this? Thomas Douglas 4157 has become a moon puncher. How are you doing, Miss Cutie? Okay, well, wrong, Thomas. First of all, I'm not cute. I'm evil and fricked up. But thank you very much. Yeah, it feels weird. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate that, Thomas. It feels weird. Okay, so we're having a bit of hiccup, but that's fine. It feels really strange to say your guys' full government names. If you want to go change your names, you should probably do that. Yeah, Neil YouTube is being... It's a setting in YouTube Studio. Well, here's the thing, Mailforge. I didn't touch the settings. I never touched the settings. Like, I've never once. So whatever is happening here was done by YouTube itself. They forced this change. Isn't that great? Thank you for the Hydrate Ghost. Hi, Nopon. Welcome in. All right, over on the red side. Hello, Isaac. Welcome. Hello, Lamora. Hello, Ravi. I'm so sorry if I get your names wrong or if I don't recognize you. I'm so sorry. It's just, you guys got new names now. Hello, Server. Hello, Plague. Hello, Name Dotto. Hello, Soul Striker. Hello, Starsky. Hello, Sin. Hello, Mailforge. Hello, Mr. Shrike. Hello, Laser. How you doing? Hello, Captain BA. What's up? Hello, Ta. Hello, Puna. Hi. Hello, Ziv. Hello, Eyes. Hello, Nano. How you doing? Hello, Kieran. Hi. Hello, Phidias. Hello, Ikaj. Hello, Mr. Aka-chan. Hello. Oh my God, wait, my body has rabies. Coco, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. Welcome in. Hi, everybody. Hi, Raiders. Rough and tough. My name is Bossymoon. I'm the leader of the Blue Moon Wolf Gang, and my body only sometimes has rabies today. Welcome in. Captain Underseer, thank you for the 5. With our names being like this, you'll never recognize a super chat away, hotties. No, I will recognize you. I can tell by vibes and stink. Thank you so much for the raid, Coco. How you doing? How did you have fun? What did you do? You were playing Terraria, right? I think you're trying to beat the Empress of Light. Did you get her? Hi, Vogan. Welcome in. Hello, old legend. How you doing? Oh man, reading names is harder. Hi, Sora. Hi, Underseer. Hi, Spaghetti. Hello. Hello, XLM. NCOPQ. This sucks. Hello, Sith Lord Revan. I take no credit. No, listen, Sith Lord Revan, I understand. You're off in the galaxy doing other things. I totally get it. You have no time for YouTube. Hi, Chunky. Hello, Veiled. How you doing today? Hello. Hi, Roscoe. New phone, who dis? I don't know why it's doing this, guys. This is crazy. I can't believe the red site nerfed you. Hello, Raphael. Welcome in. Hello, Mauricio. How you doing? Hello, Chalox. Hi. Am I missing people because I can't figure out their names? Hi, Petty. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Hello. I don't think I can fix red site while active, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I can fix red site right now. I think I have to do the settings after I finish stream. Sorry about that. Hi, Attica. Welcome in. Hi, Top Gear. How are you? Hello, Thunder Dragon Legends. Why are you the only one without a @ name? How does that happen? How does that happen? How did you bypass Neil YouTube's security fence? I'm so curious. Hello, Faye. Welcome in. How are you? Hello, Muset. I think that's Mubi. I recognize some of you. Hello, Don Y. I think I remember your name as well. Some of your guys' usernames are the same as your other names. Hello, Ethan. Hello, Bab. Welcome in. How are you today? Hi. Did I miss anybody? Hi, Capvic. Hi, Ziv. Hello, Dell. Welcome in. Hi, Mubi. Oh, no, Mubi's name is back to normal. Wait, what's going on? Hello, Ta. Hello, Mr. El Cojones. Fantastic name. I get to see your guys' real names now. Hi, Omegans. Welcome in. Hello, Hito. I'm out with friends. Let's go. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Hi, Steven. Welcome in. Hello, Dad. Yeah, I recognize some of your guys' names I can recognize from the PFPs as well. I guess I'm a Twitch viewer now. Hi, Mupi. Hi, Mecha. John Tube is breaking everything. Yeah, he was born... Listen, I don't blame John Tube. He was born in a tube, all right? Give him some slack. Cut him some slack. John Tube was born in a tube. Did I miss anybody? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I think I got everybody. Did I not? I think I got everybody. I did. Yay! Hi, guys. Hi, V-Ball. Hello, Kirtap. Hello, Cinnabar. Hi. Hello, Bahaki. Hi. Hello, Fart. John Tube dislikes when things just work. True. He's just like, he's the opposite of Todd, basically. Hi, Patriarch. Welcome in. Yeah, we're yapping today. We're in a spooky forest. My body only slightly has rabies, so that's good. Hi, Oto-san. Konnichiwa. Konbanwa. Ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome in. We're in a creepy forest together. Hold hands, hotties. Lock arms. Don't get lost. Use the buddy system. Don't lick any banana slugs, okay? They're plentiful around here. Hi, Kitsune. Hello. Hi, Flyless. Hi. Like the kid from Dune. Yeah, exactly like the kid from Dune. Hello, Flaming. Why does this forest have an echo like a cave? Don't worry about it. It's creepy. It's scary, isn't it? It's scary and creepy, guys. Bite the moon and give it rabies. No, crap. What are you talking about? Hi, Night. Welcome in. Hi, Crab. Yeah, we're lost. We're immediately lost. Hello, Dengin. Did you guys miss me? Did you guys miss me this weekend? I bet you did. Hi, Potato. Holding hands sounds too lewd to me. No, it's like locking elbows. It's different, Potato. You just lock elbows. You don't have to hold hands. Hi, Farmer. Hello. How you doing? Hi, GTT. Wander along and lick banana slugs. No, don't do that. You guys are going to start hallucinating. All right, so the tech issues aren't totally gone, but the good news is they're mostly gone, guys. Are you seeing me have rabies sometimes? I think you are. I think you're seeing me have rabies sometimes. Here, what if I do this? What if I turn off my rabies? What if I turn off all my rabies? Let's see if that helps. Turning off the rabies. Turning off the rabies. All right, maybe that works. Nope. Okay, I still got a little bit of rabies. All right, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's a lot better than the member stream was. That's for dang sure. Hi, everyone. Hello. It's not nearly as bad, yeah. You can turn the rabies off? I can try. I can try to turn them off. Don't talk about Todd. He's within hearing distance. What do you mean, MDK? What do you mean? I've been walking through this forest for hours now. Hours. I haven't looked behind me. I'm too scared. Your boss is a little intimidated. Lock elbows like we're going down a yellow brick road. Yeah, and at the end of it, you guys are going to meet the Wizard of Oz, except it's the Wizard of Bossymoon. Dang it, why am I getting rabies, guys? It's okay, it's better. Yeah, we've got like 10% rabies. That's not so bad. The war against the ISP continues. Yeah, Dia Fortuna, actually, that's a funny story. So remember how I told you guys, I don't know if you heard this, but during the member stream, we were talking about how terrible the internet connection was. You guys could hear me perfectly fine, but you couldn't actually like see me. Like I wasn't moving at all. My body was like, I had Botox, right? And so I was talking to Dia last night, talking to Dia Fortuna, and Dia Fortuna was like, have you tried this? Have you tried X? Because I was on the phone all day. I was on the phone all frickin' day with the ISP people. All day. All day. I was on hold. I was on hold again. Even the Wolf ISP people, it turns out, are not, you know what I mean? Like even your humans complain about ISP, but you guys don't even know what Wolf ISP is like. It's crazy in there. Anyway, so I was on the phone all day with the ISP providers. And finally, Dia Fortuna at like, just a little bit of rabies, don't mind that. Dia Fortuna at precisely like, I think it was like 12:30 p.m. 12:30 maybe, like really late at night. Dia was like, have you tried X? And I was like, no, I haven't tried X. And so then I tried X and then it worked. Yeah, so we're not hardwired right now. We're on Wi-Fi, which I think is part of the problem. Usually I hardwire my stuff, but currently we're on a Wi-Fi connection rather than hardwired. So that's probably part of what's going on. But yeah, anyway, the internet connection out here in the woods is great. Look, can't even get closer, Hotties. Hi. Hey. How's it going? Dia the Sage. Yeah, she's been through it. She knows how bad it is. No wires in the woods. What do you think the branches are? What? What do you think the branches are? You guys thought those were wood? No. If you bite one, you'll figure it out. Hey, maybe it's the redeems that are slowing me down. Hey guys, we're gonna try something crazy. We're gonna turn off the redeems on purple side. Sorry guys. We're gonna turn these off and see if that helps at all. It probably won't, but we'll see. Better stay close. Yeah, stay close and don't split up. All those are 5G trees. Yeah, you gotta eat them. You gotta eat them so that you get 5G in your body. Yeah, sorry, I got rid of my scams. Did your Ethernet cord break? No, the Wi-Fi basically is the main modus operandi, basically. We'll see if I can get it wired. I'm not sure how I would, but we'll see if we can get it wired. Was it turn the Wi-Fi router on and off? No, it wasn't that. I can't tell you guys what it was for my own safety, but it was not that. Don't worry about it. All of those trees are cell towers, yes. And inside of those trees are cell phones. Did you guys know if you cut open a tree, there's cell phones inside? But it's all like old Nokias. It's old Nokias. Do you guys say Nokia or Nokia? I know it's pronounced Nokia, but I like saying Nokia because it makes me feel British. You know what I mean? Nokia cell phone, Nokia. MDK, thank you for the imprisoned self and baby gel pool. Today it is filled with barbecue sauce. It's Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce in there. Enjoy. Behind you, it's Tom Howard. Where? I'm not looking behind me. You guys can't trick me. I've seen the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. I know what happens when you look. I say Nokia. Well, that doesn't narrow it down, Underseer. Hi, Kitty. Welcome in. Imagining a bunch of bananas, but it's Nokia phones instead. Yeah, like the Nokia phones just grow from the trees. Those are plant cells. Note the hard cell walls. Yeah, exactly. They've got chloroplasts in their crab. Yeah. Nokia. Wait a minute. Is Nokia, because I know the Kia car, right? Kia, like Kia Sorentos and stuff. The Kia cars, sorry, Hideout Cat is going crazy. The Kia cars are Korean? Right? Like Kia, K-I-A, the Kia cars are Korean. Is Nokia also Korean? No relation. Nokia's Finnish. Oh, okay. Well, excuse me for thinking that the Kia word was somehow related to Nokia. Well, excuse me and my dyslexia for thinking that these two words were related. You want to be looking at the weeping angels, it's bad news if you aren't. Oh, is that how it works, Mecha? You want to make sure you're always looking at them? Yes, Kia is Korean. I don't think so, Cabby. Also, hi, welcome in. It's Finnish. Interesting night. Okay. Oh, Fart, thank you for the 5. Oh, no, not my full legal name. Thank you so much for the 5 Supa. Ravi, thank you for becoming a Moon Puncher for 8 months in a row. She'll never know who's calling her cute. Now go forth, hotties, and spread the truth. Ravi, I know it's you, because you use the same name in chat. What are you talking about? Cerbert, thank you for the 2. My name is not Max, and Boss is cute. All right. Captain BA, thank you for the 5. Why did I not see any of these? Does Streamlabs just poop itself? Captain, thank you for the 5. Cutie has no idea it's me, right? No, I definitely know it's you. I know it's you 100%. Captain RC, thank you for the 5 again. With our names being like this, you'll never recognize us. No, we already covered this, guys. I'm tracing your IPs as we speak. All right, don't think you can get away with anything fresh. All right, don't try to be cute or fresh. I'm tracing your IPs as we speak in Minecraft. Now everyone knows my name begins with an A. How crazy would it be if your parents named you like Amanda, but instead of a regular A, it's an at. At Amanda. That would be crazy. Someone's got to have done that, right? Like using symbols to name a baby. That which holds the image of an angel itself becomes an angel. What? That's a very scary thing to say. I thought you already had all your personal... I only have your emergency contacts and your blood type on record. Those are the only 2 things I have on record. Everything else is a bit... I don't know much else. All right? I need your blood type in case I need to sell your body parts off. I mean, in case you get severely injured and I need to tell the hospital what blood type you are. And then I need your emergency contact to ask permission to harvest your... to tell them that you've passed. Kia equals car brand and Nokia is not a car brand. I guess that makes sense, MDK. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Why are you looking at me like that, Oto-san? What's wrong? I don't even know my blood type. I suggest finding out your guys' blood type. All it takes is going to a hospital and getting your blood drawn. You go to a blood drive or you go to a hospital and draw your blood. I think even during a medical exam, you can kind of ask for your blood type. Like you can be like, hey, what is my blood type on the results? My name's Potato. Hi, Potato. Hi. How you doing? Just build new hotties from the leftovers from expired hotties. I don't think that's how it works. At least I haven't tried that yet, Lamar. It could be how it works, but I haven't tried it. I'm not really one for experimentation. I just sort of reduce, recycle, reuse. You know what I mean? Kawaii Hacker Moon looking out for us. I am a hacker, guys. This is why my ISP is dog doo-doo right now. It's because it's because they figured me out, guys, and they're watching. Why do you think I'm stuttering every couple seconds? That's right. It's because the FBI's in here. Hi, browser. Mine's O+. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think Bossy Mom was O+ too. Hi, Balto. Thank you for the get up and stretch. I appreciate that. Welcome in. Hello. Hi. If this is how much I lag during a Zatsu with no game, can you imagine trying to play Oblivion? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It says I have no dropped frames, so I'm wondering if the post-processing is doing it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Lots of fun. I love technical issues. I love them. They're so tasty. I love to eat them. I love to spend hours trying to fix them, only to have a friend come up and be like, have you tried this? And then I fix it in 2 minutes. Imagine dragons. I don't need to imagine dragons. They're here. They're here and they're real. It's called a Komodo dragon. Checkmate, Del. If Boss made new hotties out of the cadavers of the old hotties, that would make her a necromancer. I'm not a necromancer. I'm a berserker. Guys, we've been over this. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking now. In D&D, what class is a necromancer? Because there's a druid. I remember there's a druid class that can raise the dead, I think. And there's a warlock class, I think, that's also raising dead. Wizard? Is it wizard, Balto? Oh, clerics are the best at it. Oh. Wizard or a priest. Ah, that makes sense. Wizards, druids, and warlocks for 5e can all do it. Ah. Wizard and 5e. Okay, so I guess wizard is... I never thought about that. Normally wizards. I always play bard. Can you imagine a bard that can raise the dead with their song? Can you imagine a bard just whips out a lute and starts playing Thriller? And like all the bodies stand up? The only thing scary is being in a foggy forest with Todd Howard on the prowl. Good thing that isn't an issue for you. Yeah, Balto, I'm sure that the thing behind me is probably just a regular mountain lion. And the mountain lion is not a game producer or a game designer and does not want me to play his game at all, actually. Yeah, like Michael Jackson. Hi, Saint, welcome in. Sorry about my occasional rabies. He's so bad at music, it wakes the dead. That would make sense, Flamdring. Bards can do that. Can they, Wolfwood? That's exciting. I had no idea. Bard to raise a skeleton. Barbershop quartet. Oh, that would be so cool, Paddington. I would love that. Hi, welcome in, Jonathan. Hello. I'm sorry. Yomenai. Kanji wa yomenai. Gomen nasai. よろしくお願いします。お名前はバシムーンです。よろしく。はい。Mountain lions usually stand on 2 legs. No, they don't. No, they don't, hotties. It's like you don't. It's like you've never read a book before. It's like you've never read a book before in your entire lives. What are you saying? A mountain lion stands on 2 legs? Are you talking about a Khajiit? Fermantis, thank you so much for resubscribing for 9 months. Let's go. It's a long story. What is that a reference to? It's good to see you. Hi. Sorry about the occasional blips. How you doing? Liches are based on the wizard class. Ah, okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a necromancer vibe for every subclass in D&D. Hi, Rapscallion. It's too early for spooky season. Yeah, I know, but sometimes in the middle of summer, I get in the middle of a blazing hot heat wave. I think to myself, what if I was in a nice cool forest with like some mist on my body? You know what I mean? And so I walked into this nice cool forest because there was a heat wave outside, and I walked in, and now I can't get out. And there's like women I can hear like the screaming. I can hear screaming. And I don't know where it's coming from. It seems to be coming from all angles. And there's definitely somebody following me, but I'm not turning around. It's Schrodinger's following me in the woods. You know what I mean? If I don't see him, if I don't observe him, he's not real. 9, thank you for the 5. Did no one question why there's no animal noises in these woods before we enter? That's a good point. Actually, that's a good rule of thumb. If there's no animals making noises in like a forest or like a lake or something, don't go. Don't do it. There's something wrong. Balto, thank you for the 100 biddies. Mountain lions, also known as cougars, are middle-aged or older women known to pressure young males for companionship. What? I know what a cougar is, but they're not in these woods, and they wouldn't be interested in me because A, I'm not a human, and B, I'm not a male. So, checkmate. Checkmate. I hear a loud wolf. Okay, do you want... All right, just tell me to... All right, tell me I'm loud and annoying then. Here, let me turn my mic down. Is this loud enough for you? Hey, guys. Stop using my credit card to Panera Bread. All right, there we go. Let me turn myself... Let me get closer. Hi. There we go. There we go. I don't know why, but every time I stream, I yell. I don't know why. Still too loud. Okay, all right, all right. The door is over there, Kitsune. Maybe the animals are asleep. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, animals aren't necessarily, like, there's animals that are active during the day and there's animals that are active during the night, which means that at any given point in nature, an animal should be awake somewhere. Otherwise, something's wrong. Hi, Lot. Welcome in. How you doing? Muty Moon, my Oshi. Oh no, I've gone deaf. Open your ears, Ikaj. Open your ears. I'm not going to pick the earwax out for you. You got to do that on your own. Did you guys know? Did you guys know that there are eardrops that you can put in your ear that dissolve your earwax for you? It's like kind of freaky. Spinach, thank you so much for the resub at tier 1. Bossymoon's Bossy M Gem, Bossy 2M Spin. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. How you doing? Yeah, there's all kinds of animals that are awake at all times of the day. Animals can get tired. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I've used them. Oh, wow. A lot of you guys have used them. Yeah, you're not supposed to use Q-tips because apparently that just pushes the earwax deeper in your ears. Sounds like a scam, like those earwax candles. What earwax candles? You mean the one Shrek? The only person who makes earwax candles is Shrek. I've had to use them before. Yeah, apparently you're not supposed to get rid of all of your earwax because your earwax protects your eardrums basically. So it's not a good idea to get rid of all of it, but sometimes like your earwax gets like impacted and stuff and you have to use the little drops, which is really cool. Q-tips feel so good when they hit just right. Lamoro, that's you itching your brain. If you push a Q-tip in too far, you start itching your brain. Don't do that. Q-tips feel so good. Stop it. I used to, actually, Bossy Mom, she used to take the earwax out of my ears using a crochet needle. I don't recommend this, obviously, and I'm not a medical professional. But she used to use a crochet needle, of a smaller one. I don't know if you guys know what a crochet needle is, but it's got like a little hook at the end, which is really interesting. And it's very small, so you can use it to like fish stuff out. David, thank you for becoming a member for 8 months in a row. I came back from Sweden yesterday. Yo, let's go. How was it? Did you eat good food? It's nice to see Bossy back at it again. And by it, I mean yapping. Aw, thanks, David. I appreciate that. How was your travel? Hi, Fructose. That does not sound safe. No, it wasn't. Bossy Mom was not necessarily, by the time she had me, I was the 4th child. Bossy Mom had 5 kids. So by the time she had me, I was the 4th child. She was just sort of kind of over it. You know what I mean? She kind of just sort of used whatever she had on hand to solve the problem. I remember one time, this is kind of gross. Mute me if you don't want to hear anything really gross. It's about boogers. One time I was really, really sick. And she used to, me and my sister both got sick at the same time. And so she had a turkey baster that she would use to like suck out the mucus, because very young children, they don't know how to like blow their nose. So sometimes you have to like use these little turkey basters to like suck out the mucus for them. She was so like, she was so done that she just sucked the mucus out of our nose for us with her mouth. So that kind of gives you an example of like how over it my mom sort of was raising kids. She was just like, you know, just gonna, yep, that's called being a parent. Exactly. If you're not gonna suck your kids' mucus out of their nose for them, come on, what are you doing? Yummers. That's the definition of I literally don't care anymore. Exactly, Bogan, exactly. Mucus is not too bad. Yeah, I would say that like mucus in general, mucus is not that bad, especially if it's like honestly, your kid shares half of your DNA, so like come on. But she did get sick. You'll never believe this, guys. When Bossy Mom sucked the mucus out of our nose when we were sick, when we were kids, she then got sick, of course. But she like, I remember her telling me like it's gonna happen sooner or later, because when you're a parent and you have sick kids in the house, it turns out you get sick too. Yeah, big shocker. Easily the best of the 4 humors. Really, Roscoe? I'm kind of partial to blood. Yeah, who knew? Science. Hi, T-Mike. Welcome in. How you doing today? Yes, very shocking. Ew, Captain, that emote. Ew. Not the vacuum emote. They have little hoses. Oh, they have hoses now? I didn't know that. Back in my day, they used turkey basters to get the mucus out of your nose. Hey, it was turkey basters. Yeah, my childhood was something. It's very true, Fructose. I think I also told you guys this, I don't know. But I think the only time I ever saw Bossy Mom get really, really mad. Hi, Maximus, welcome in. The only time I saw Bossy Mom get really, really mad, she was really mad at Bossy Dad. They were going through the big D, and by that I mean the big divorce. And so the only time I ever saw Bossy Mom get like super angry She went out on the patio and like tore apart a chair with her bare hands. Like there was just a chair sitting out there. It was old, granted it was old. But I just watched her tear it apart with her bare hands. Actually, no, that's a lie. I saw her get mad at my librarian too that one time. Hi, Astoria. Those were dark times indeed. Yeah, we had to use turkey basters for everything. Hi. My baby cousins are agents of Nurgle. Oh yeah, children are 100% agents of Nurgle. They'll get you sick in a heartbeat. They'll cough on you, no questions asked. They will just look at you and you'll get sick. Ryu, thank you for the sub with Prime. Thank you so much for the Bezos bucks. I'm now halfway into giving birth to Bossy Baby. Yes, you are. One more month and you're gonna give birth. Thank you so much, Ryu. I appreciate that. Hi, Bubba. Blood doesn't tickle my funny bone though. Mucus does? Excuse me? How are you eating this mucus that it makes you tickle your funny bone? How does eating mucus? I don't. You know what? I don't even want to ask. Does the librarian also have a chair nearby? No, I don't know. Did I tell you guys the story? I think I did. So when I was like in, I think I want to say 3rd grade, I tried to check out. I was a huge reader. I read prodigiously. I had a not to brag or anything. Not to brag or anything, but I had an 8th grade reading level when I was in 3rd grade. And then I was in 6th grade, I had a 12th grade reading level, right? So I had like a really high reading level and I wanted to check out a book. I remember it's The Yearling by Rudyard Kipling, right? And I wanted to check out a book because I liked the deer on the cover. And the librarian looked at me from the school library, and the librarian looked at me and she said, you can't check that out. And I was like, why not? And she's like, you can't check, that's too hard for you. You can't check that out. And so I went home crying. Because I couldn't check a book out. What? I was kind of a nerd, huh? I went home crying because I couldn't check a freaking book out. Anyway, so when I got home and I was crying, Bossy Mom's like, what happened? What happened? And then so I told her. And so Bossy Mom immediately put me in the car and we went to the library. And she told me to wait outside the library. And she marched inside. And I don't know what she said to the librarian, but when she came out, she's like, you can check out any book you want now. And I was like, yay, yippee, yay. And that's the story. That's the story of Bossy Mom. Those are the only 2 times I saw her get really mad. I used to read a lot for the personal pan pizzas. Oh, nice, Captain. Hi, Doodle. Welcome in. Yeah, Bossy Mom was pissed. She was pissed. She's an amazing woman. It's true. She is. She's lived a very full life. I can only hope to one day live a life as full as hers. And the librarian was never seen again. No, I did see her. She didn't like me anymore, obviously. She treated me really, she gave me like looks every so often, but it's fine. I got to check out any book I wanted. Wolf Mom seems pretty cool. Yeah, she was. Actually, it was really funny. At the open houses, you know, in America here, we have something in the wolf schools in America. We have something called open houses, which is where the parents come to visit. It's like a night early on. I would say early on in the school year. I would say like in the fall, usually like September, October, in the fall, and it's called an open house. And basically, the parents get to come and talk to the teachers. And so the parents will go to all of your classes essentially for you and get to talk to the teachers and ask questions and stuff like that. And so my mom would always go to the open houses, the open nights. I forget what they're called. Anyway, open house. And all of the other parents, like the next day, all of my classmates would be like, my mom said that your mom is really cool. Bossy Mom would go to the open houses and she would like, nobody would be asking the teacher questions or anything. And she would raise her hand and she would crack a joke and make everybody laugh. You know what I mean? That's just how Bossy Mom was. That's just how she was. But I used to get like everybody the day after would be like, your mom's so cool. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess she is. I don't know. I don't know where I get it from, but whatever. It's called Parent Teacher Night. Yes, it might be called Parent Teacher Night here too. I just call it open house for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, meeting the teachers. Yeah, exactly. It's like a night for the parents to meet teachers. Parents' evening. Oh, that's very refined, Wiki. That's very British to call it a parents' evening. We just call it Parent-Teacher Night, basically. Yeah, Bossy Mom with the Riz, precisely. Meanwhile, I used to have comprehension issues. Not anymore, though. Let's go, Kitsune. Yeah, my Bossy Mom is really, really cool. She's very neat. 100 charisma. Yeah, she's got 100 charisma. She's also got, she's kind of vain. I would say that I never got my Bossy Mom's vanity. I think that was the one thing I never got from her. I think that's like the biggest difference between her coolness and my coolness. I feel like her personality traits is that she's very cool. She's very resilient. She's very sensitive. She's still sensitive and resilient at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, she's sensitive emotionally, but she gets stuff done in real life, if that makes sense. And then her other trait is vanity. So Bossy Mom is very vain because she was very, very beautiful when she was younger. She's still beautiful, right? Obviously, she's still beautiful. But when she was younger, she was like drop dead gorgeous type beach. She tells me a lot of stories about how she stopped traffic going to the beach because she was in her bikini. She used to stop traffic. And so she is vain. I used to remember that. That's one thing. She used to be like, "Do I look pretty?" to me all the time, and I'd be like, "Yes, Mama, you look very pretty, Bossy Mom." I never understood vanity, especially because like my younger sister is actually the prettier. Believe it or not, I know I'm beautiful and all that, but my younger sister is the prettier one. And so Bossy Mom would always say that. Bossy was kind of messed up, but it's fine. She was just being realistic. She's like, "You know what? Your younger sister's a lot prettier than you, but you're a lot smarter." And I'm like, "Hey, maybe don't pit us against each other, but you know what? It's okay. Listen, all parents have their flaws." Your mom's cool. Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. She is kind of like, I don't know, like she has that mindset, I guess, like that old type of mindset of like pitting daughters against each other type beat. I don't know what to call it, where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? She's got a little bit of that, but I think she got that from her mom, so I don't know, man. No parent is perfect, no parent is perfect. She holds mirrors. She did have a big mirror, Spinach, she did. Household with a lot of children, you have to pit them against each other before they try to rise up. Hey, Maka, what do you mean by that? Hey, sibling rivalry? Yeah, basically. I don't know what that was about. My grandma also stopped traffic, but because she would just walk into the street swinging her purse. Why was she trying to swing her purse? Was she trying to kill the cars undersea, or what was she trying to do? No children unions allowed. Yeah, very true. Imagine being told that. Yeah, it was pretty rough. When I was younger, it definitely shaped my self-esteem. But now that I'm older, it's like, I know that, I know that it doesn't really matter. As long as my body is healthy, nothing else really matters, So, and like, imagine how hard it was for my younger sister too, being told that she's not as smart as me. Like, imagine that. That would be so rough. I don't know, man. I just think it's not good to like, like pit. I don't know. If I ever become a wolf mom, I don't think I'll be telling my kids about like, even if it's honest, I don't think I'll be telling them like, "Hey, you're smarter than your sister" type beat, No, we're not culling the kids. Absorb the personality? I must have. As a smart one in the family, that never happened to me. Yeah, I think, honestly, we all grow up with different circumstances, I must crush the children's commune before they nationalize the cookie jar. Precisely, Ghost. We can't have these kids running around with free cookies. People back then expected everyone to be equal, and nowadays is different. Do you think, Knight? The sort of thing will give people complexes. Oh, for sure, yeah. And I think as a kid, you're not really equipped very well to have to deal with complexes. I think we all have. I would say that every single child grows up with some sort of complex, right? Whether it's like, not getting enough attention or getting too much attention, or not feeling smart enough or feeling too smart, or like I feel like part of growing up is getting complexes. And I think as you grow older, you learn tools to sort of like unpack that sort of stuff and to sort of address it in yourself, if that makes sense. Your parents will give you complexes, but they should also give you the tools when you're a child. They should teach you the tools to help you navigate those complexes as well. If you don't get it from your parents, you eventually start getting it as you grow older from like your friends. Like maybe you see a friend who has a similar complex who deals with it differently, right? And you're like, "Oh, I can do that? I didn't know I could do that." So as you grow older and get more experience, you learn how to deal with your complexes. If your parents don't teach you how. No, don't bottle it deep down inside. Don't do that. That's expensive. That means therapy. That means therapy like 6 years down the road. There's healthy sibling rivalry, which can be positive competitiveness, and then there's unhealthy rivalry, which can create resentment and low self-esteem. Exactly, GTT, exactly. My parents did well enough, so I still like them and my siblings. That's nice, Dad. That's really nice. You should measure their self-worth through money, not intelligence or looks. Oh, I see, Bubba. Okay, so we're going like... We're going like the railroad robber baron type. I see. Okay. All right. So I should follow the robber baron mentalities of the early railroads. Okay. I'll write that. I'll jot that down. Yes. Yes. I need 6 buildings in New York. I need to own 3 train companies. Yes. It doesn't matter if I'm pretty or smart. I just need to do good business. Hi, Grants. Welcome in. How are you? No, don't skip the therapy, guys. What the hell? Don't do that. Hold it inside until you die at 40 from a heart attack. You're joking, Ta, but genuinely, Bossy Dad, like, did not get therapy. He never got therapy. He never got therapy. And I wanted it so badly for him because he, like, my Bossy Dad, Bossy Dad had a lot of, he grew up in, like, a really strict, like, Protestant household. And then he went to, or was it Catholic? Yeah, it was a Catholic household. And then he went to Catholic school. Like, he grew up in, and if you guys know anything about Catholic school, and he grew up in Catholic school in, like, the 50s, in the 60s. So, like, they were just swinging rulers every which way, man. It was rough. It was rough. And, like, he never got therapy for it, so I don't know, man. I wish he did. You know? I wish there wasn't such a stigma with the older generation about getting therapy, you know? Yeah, it is hard for men to go to therapy too, yeah, because you guys are, I don't know, society's like, just suck it up. And it's like, man, what do you mean suck it up? They're human, people, dudes are humans too, man. Let them go to therapy. I don't get it. Yeah, Catholic schools were really tough. That's war zone schooling. What do you mean, Ruff? I mean, I've heard, the stories I've heard, like, he only told me, like, the like palatable stories, like the okay stories, so I can only imagine like the worst stories, you know. Trauma and complexes must ferment like fine wine and then over ferment and explode. I see, Kano. So you're gonna use your trauma like a Molotov cocktail. Okay. Just make sure you don't throw it in, make sure you throw it in like a, you know, somewhere it's not gonna hurt anybody. Are you still in therapy yourself, Bossy? No, I'm not in therapy anymore. I took a little bit off of therapy because I could not afford it. But hopefully somewhere down the line, I will pick it back up again because I really had a good time in therapy. I like it a lot. It's helpful. I mean, well, okay, listen, I don't like it a lot. It's hard, but I also do like it, you know. It's always hard, but it's like exercising. Therapy's kind of like exercising. You do it, and in the middle of doing it, you're like, this sucks so much. Everything hurts. I'm sweating. Like, I'm in pain. Like, I wish I wasn't doing this right now. And then, like, an hour after you get it done, you're like, hey, that was the best thing of my life. Like, you're flooded by oxytocin and, like, you know what I mean? I would say therapy is almost exactly like working out, where it's like, this sucks while you're doing it, but then afterwards, it's like, oh, that was awesome. I need to do that more. You know what I mean? I'm making good, I was making good progress. I feel like I'm doing well. You know, she gave me like a lot of like behavioral tips and stuff to do, you know, to like self-soothe and stuff, and that seems to be working. Hey, Bossy, this should cover therapy, right? Thank you, Mr. Yes, thank you, Mr. Akachan, for two Canadian dollars. That definitely covers it. That's how much it costs in Canada to get therapy, right? $2. Therapy is tough, but totally worth it. I agree, Akash. It is definitely worth it. I did enjoy my 1 week in therapy. Life interrupted though, but I like to get back to it. Yeah, at least you got a little tasting platter, you know, Logan. You got a little tasting platter of what it's like. I would say that obviously therapy is not for everybody, but I would say that like you should try it at least once before you say that you're never going to get therapy. Like, at least try it. I just think it's so silly when people are like, I've never tried therapy and I'm never going to get it. And it's like, because it's bad. And I'm like, well, first of all, you never tried it, so you don't know if it's bad. You know what I mean? You're denying something on the principle of the thing, which means that you have some deep-seated issues around the principle of it, not necessarily towards the thing itself, right? Because you've never experienced it, so how do you know if it's bad or not? You're just using your preconceived notions to judge something, which is not, you know, not correct, I would say. In the human experience, you got to experience things in order to judge them. Hi, Kiwi. Why are we in the woods? I got lost. Welcome in. It's a good comparison. Thank you, Chunky. I appreciate that. Therapy is the wallet killer with conflicted feelings. You wish you didn't need it, but it feels good. Very true, Kitsune. Yeah, I wish it wasn't so expensive. Hi, Patchy. Is it subs only on the purple site? It shouldn't be. Let me double check. Hold on. Did I not turn off the sub only chat on purple site? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tech issues rule everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Oh, it is sub only chat. All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. Okay, I turned the sub chat off. That was for members stream on Saturday. Sorry about that. Gomin. Thank you for your patience. Sorry. I tried talk therapy. Oh, interesting, Chalice. I would need my therapist to use a different technique. Yeah, I mean, the blanket statement of get therapy is not for everybody, right? Like, I feel like therapy has to be tailored to your personal experiences and like what you need or what you're looking for. I freed the fellow hotties. Sorry. Sorry, Zane. Sorry, Emily. Sorry, Patchy. I'm sorry. Hi, guys. How you doing? I was being silenced. You guys are being silenced. I heard horror stories of therapists only going yep and then charging the couple $100. Yeah. It depends on the therapist, right? Like, I feel like people also I've had experiences where like the therapist was not great, so I had to find a new one. And I've had some friends who go to therapy and like they've been through 6 or 7 therapists trying to find one that understands them, and one that doesn't seem to like, you know, brush off their problems. So I would say that like having one bad experience in therapy is not like the end all be all. Like, you probably just got a bad therapist, you know. It's exactly like a doctor, right? Like, sometimes doctors don't listen to you, and so you have to go to different doctors, or sometimes they don't get your vibe, you know. So yeah, if you guys go to a therapist, you're like, man, that sucked, maybe like try a different one and see if you have a different result. Hi, Rip. Yeah, you can chat now. Sorry about that. I apologize. It's like saying get exercise. Everybody has different things they're able to do or different needs in the gym. Yeah, exactly. I feel like people throw around the term, especially like a couple years ago, they threw around the term like get therapy like so loosely, when it's like such a complex thing to like find proper therapy. You know what I mean? It's like learn rocket science is the equivalent of what they were saying. They're like get therapy. It's like just learn rocket science. It's like, what do you mean? Like the steps to get there are so much more complex than the casual cavalier way that you're just throwing out get therapy. You know what I mean? It was a big meme. Yeah. I don't know if like the memification of get therapy is a good thing or not. I genuinely don't know. I had counselors. Counselors can be really useful, because they're like kind of like a halfway point between like a full therapist, you know? Hopefully I'll never need to visit one. Yeah, for sure, Kieran, for sure. Hopefully the hope is that you have your own, you've been taught really good coping mechanisms as a child, and stuff like that, you know? We barely have any therapy in Eastern Europe. That's why we had to invent like 70 varieties of, oh no, Petty, not the 70 varieties of vodka. Speaking of vodka, later tonight at 6 p.m., I think it's 6 p.m. PSD, I will be guest starring on Gooby Gooba's stream. And also, I believe Dia Fortuna is also streaming it. I will be guest starring on Gooby Gooba's. I will raid us into there in case you're curious. We're going to be playing Outlast Trials as well as Peak, and I have a bottle of wine. I only occasionally drink, and I have a nice red wine. And Dia has a nice, I think, peach wine, and I think Tomomi is also drinking. So we're going to be a little bit buzzed playing Peak and Outlast Trials, so come on by for that. Yeah, we're celebrating Gooby's monetization, which is really fun. Are we goofy goobers? That depends. Can you make a joke? Are you goofy? Are you goofy from the Goofy movie? If so, then yes. Affording, it's the biggest issue. Very true, Emily. I feel like affording therapy is like the big thing, you know? Yeah. It's tough. Hi, Giddy. We're gonna get a bunch of why nots, aren't we? Well, I mean, technically I am an aunt, but I've been an aunt since I was 8 years old. So, and I am drinking wine, so you're kind of right. Also, welcome in. Hi. Yuck, I sure hope not. Yeah, it's very lightly said. It's lightly said a lot of times, Patchy. I don't know if I agree with like the way that people were throwing out like just get therapy. It's like that's not that simple, man. I don't know. There's not a lot of resources to help people get therapy. You know what I mean? I feel like there should be more resources for that. Because it's like, yeah, people can tell you to get therapy, but then what do you do? You know? It's late enough for drinking time. 6 to 7 is drinking time. I think so, Kitsune. I mean, America has a really complex relationship with alcohol, actually. Like dating back to, because America was like founded by Puritans, there's a lot of, that's not a derogatory term. That was what they called themselves, the Puritans. There's a lot of really interesting like culture around drinking. For example, in the Northeast of America, you can't buy alcohol on Sunday at all. Like at all. And in some places on the East Coast, that is still the case. It's a holdover from like the fact that the Northeast and some of the eastern seaboard states were part of the original 13 colonies. Isn't that crazy? It's just so insane to me. Yeah, the Mayflower days. Yeah, there are dry counties. Exactly. Dry counties where you just can't. Yeah. You can't buy hard liquor on Sunday in Texas. Interesting, Spinach. Yeah, I would say that like those kind of like rules in America revolving around alcohol are really, really just like culturally interesting, right? Like they're really culturally interesting. In some southern states, oh really? No alcohol on Sunday, huh? The U.S. is the country that I can think of that outright tried to ban alcohol and it backfired terribly. Very true, Zodiac. Welcome in. Hi. Is that you, Greaser? I recognize the PFP, but everybody's names are different. Sorry about that. Reminder that modern organized crime came about because alcohol was banned for a while. Yeah, the rum runners, right? Yeah, rum running became extremely profitable. And so a lot of like organized crime groups sprung up around it. A lot of dry laws came out during prohibitions. My county had no Sunday sales until 2018. Wow, that's crazy. Speakeasies, yeah. Would you guys like to go to a speakeasy? There's some bars, I think. I'm not a big fan of bars. Back in my college wolf days, I would go to the goth raves. I would go to the raves, and I went to one rave, and then I would go to the goth nights at the clubs, and those are really, really fun. But I think there are like speakeasy style establishments, basically, where you have to like duck through a safe and stuff. You have to like, there's a secret entrance inside of like a giant safe, and the door is the safe door, and so you have to like crawl through. It's like a vibe that certain establishments like create, which is really interesting to me. Hi, SG, welcome in. Base Boss, based on what? Based on what? I don't go to the goth nights at the clubs anymore. I'm 22 years old. I'm too old for that. I don't go to raves anymore. I'm too old for that. Sometimes I go to concerts. That's about it. Raves and clubs are way too loud. Yeah, they're very loud. Honestly, if you guys ever go to a club or a rave, I would recommend getting earplugs because I don't want your guys' ears to get hurt. If it wasn't for prohibition, we wouldn't find ways to get rid of milk. Did you guys, wait, did I tell you guys about the cheese? Did I tell you guys about the cheese? There's like giant underground vaults full of cheese from like hold on, let me double check this. There's like some crazy cheese stuff. Vaults of cheese. Cheese caves and food surpluses. Why the government currently stores 1.4 billion pounds of cheese. Hundreds of feet below the ground in Missouri, there are hundreds of thousands of pounds of American cheese. Deep in converted limestone caves, mines kept. Okay, this is an article from 2021. Okay, so here's why. The Area 51 of lactose intolerance. So basically, there was a national dairy shortage in the 1970s, okay? The government intervened, okay? Which means they probably outsourced some dairy from somewhere else. And so Jimmy Carter, our boy Jimmy Carter, put some money in the dairy industry to motivate production. And so the government subsidizes dairy, right? And it provides $2 billion to the industry over the next 4 years, okay? But that also led to overproduction. Like a whole bunch of money is going into the dairy industry because of a shortage, right? Because they're trying to get it going. And so that led to a crap ton of overproduction. The government owns over, and because it was subsidized by the government, technically it's the government's cheese, right? Hi, Klein, because cheese can be stored easily, right? I think so. Also, welcome in. Thanks for the first time chat. Bars with not so loud music are fine. Yeah, I feel like really loud music at restaurants, I really hate it. Anyway, so now they own 500 million pounds of cheese by the early 80s, right? And the reason why the dairy product was converted to cheese because it has a longer shelf life, right? And then, so Ronald Reagan enacts public distribution of government cheese in 1981. We've got 6 million cheeses that the government owns. It's moldy, it's deteriorating, we can't find a market for it, we can't sell it, and we're looking to give some of it away. Thus, government cheese was born. And the federal government distributed these cheese blocks through the Temporary Emergency Food Assistance Program. It was given away for free by pickup to people at food banks, community centers, and so on. Government cheese became a totem of American culture, signaling both class and nostalgia. It is referenced in Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z songs, and in 2017, Snoop Dogg even taught Martha Stewart how to cook with it in their show. We need some kind of cheese-based reactor. True. It's a rat's paradise. Yeah, your mom would talk about that. Yeah, your parents probably went through this, guys. Okay, so 2019, the government has once again found themselves storing cheese, guys. And this time it's 1.4 billion pounds. Okay? And basically that's why we have Pizza Hut. That's why we have Pizza Hut, guys. Is because that's why we have Taco Bell and Pizza Hut. Is because restaurants, I think, could get cheese for a reduced cost, which is really interesting. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, it's so cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy. Very true. The Missouri cheese caves. Guys, what does it smell like in the Missouri cheese caves? It's got to smell like a belly button in there, right? 1.4 billion pounds is an average deadlift for Mighty Mouse. Yeah, Mickey needs to go down there and clear them out. You know what I'm saying? Put Mickey in there, and we'll get those caves cleared of cheese in no time. Good old Ron was like, but where JC made water into wine, he made money into cheese. True, Doodle, very true. He made college. He charged the American people for college. He started charging the American people for the American middle class exorbitant amounts of money for college. But guys, on the bright side, cheese is free. College is no longer free because of Ronald Reagan, but cheese is. Yay! Yippee! Good deal. Yeah, that was a good deal. Baked cheese is a bigger mystery than Area 51. True, Chewy. Very true. Checking to see if my name is the same. Hi, Diane. Welcome in. Hi. Fair trade deal. Apparently, the European Union had a Butter Mountain. That's crazy, lot. Butter Mountain. Is that the newest Disney ride? Oh, thank you, Knight. Thank you for the S. I didn't see the super chat. If you remember the Got Milk ads, they're connected to the cheese vaults. Really? Thank you for the soup. I did not know that, Knight. I appreciate that. That's crazy. That's insane. I like the melting kind of cheese. Yeah, I wonder what kind of cheese it is. It's got to be different kinds of cheeses. Yeah, it can't all be the same type of cheese. Cheese is good. I do like cheese, Maximus. My favorite is Havarti. Have you guys ever had Havarti? It's like a soft, it's kind of like Swiss cheese. It's got a lot of little holes in it. It's really soft and delicious. I also like Gouda. Gouda and Havarti are like my two favorites. And you can't beat a mozzarella. You can't beat a mozzarella stick. The dairy farmers regulate so they don't overproduce. Ah, that makes sense, Wolf. Yeah. probably cheddar. Ooh, that's a good point. It's probably cheddar, right? Endless amounts of cheddar, but the plastic sheet types. I don't know. I think the Kraft American cheese slices are different than the 1.4 billion cheeses. Maybe I'm wrong. Butter Mountain sounds like a fun ski trip. I like stinky blue cheese. I can't like blue cheese. I can't bring myself to like it. How do you guys eat blue cheese? Just by itself? I haven't. You should try it, Patchy. Havarti's really good. Yeah, this is some deep American lore. Hi, Cringe! Cheese is great, you feta believe it. I see what you did there. Welcome in. Good old cheddar and Stilton. What's a Stilton? That's a stinky one, right? I think Stilton's a stinky cheese. Like going to the deli with my mom and getting some? Mmm. The only fruit spread to the Austrians was that they called the Hindenburg. What? That's crazy, Doodle. With salads or burgers. Hi, Hammer, hi! I do like, yeah, I think blue cheese on a salad wouldn't be too bad if you had like a nice dressing. That makes sense. You put blue cheese on things, not on its own. How much money would somebody have to pay you guys to eat like a chunk of blue cheese on its own? Oh, chicken wings. I didn't think about that. Blue cheese is goated. I guess my taste buds must be just too sensitive because I can't stand blue cheese. Blue cheese is one of your faves. Really, Greaser? Huh. Like Aussie Vegemite, you can't eat it on its own. Mmm. Hi, Cuomo, welcome in. Reminds me of the Norwegian butter crisis of 2011. Hey, you can't just drop that. What? Hey. Tell me about the Norwegian butter crisis immediately. How much money are we talking? Well, that's what I'm asking you guys. 70 billion? 70 billion to eat a hunk of blue cheese, huh? Hi, Creamy, welcome in. How are you? Happy Tuesday. We're doing some light yapping today. How you doing? Stilton is blue or white. So what is, okay, wait. So blue cheese is a type of cheese? Do you see what I mean? Like there's orange cheese and white cheese, but blue cheese refers to the color? Like the mold. The mold, right? That's why it's blue, is because there's mold in there. How much money and how much cheese? I don't know, you guys. That's what I'm asking you. I do it for $1. Just $1 for it? Damn, you're cheap. 20 so I could buy a nice burger. Ooh, that sounds good, Underseer. How big is the hunk? Let's say like the size of your palm. Let's say like the hunk of cheese. You have to eat all of it, and it's the size of your palm. I'm not a big cheese guy in general. That's fair, Ghost. I know a lot of people can't eat it because it's, you know, lactose. Have I eaten red cheese? That's the wine cheese, right? I have not. I don't think I have. At its peak, 8.8 ounces of butter was worth the equivalent of $50 during the crisis. Oh my God. Oh my God, Como. What the hell? Dang. Do I get quackers? No, you get your own skin. And you'll enjoy it. You get your own calluses in between the blue cheese. Enjoy. No quackers. I like blue cheese. No, it's okay to be honest here, Mazlo. It's okay to be wrong. Also, hi. How you doing? The mold is kind of blue. Yeah, that's why it's called blue cheese. Did you guys not know that? That blue, those little blue veins you see in there, that's literally mold. That's literally mold. You're eating mold. There's also red smear cheese, which is stinky but tastes mild. I don't know. I feel like the stinkier the cheese doesn't always equate to the better tasting for me. You know what I mean? I'm not about eating stinky things. I don't really like stinky things that much. I don't like durian, sorry. I don't like durian. I had it. I've had it before. It smells horrible, but it tastes like vanilla grass. It tastes delicious, but it smells horrible. When I found out people ate jellyfish, I screamed so loud. Hi, welcome in, Suki. That's the only kanji I can read of your name. Hi, Daisuke. Welcome in. Hi. Yeah, people eat jellyfish. They eat jellyfish, and not only do they eat jellyfish, but they also, like, when the jellyfish are dead, you can pour, I think, vinegar on the jellyfish, and then they'll start moving again. They'll start moving again. The jellyfish will be like, bye, 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 because the acid triggers their, I forget what it is, but the acid triggers some sort of pH in their body, and their tentacles will move around. Isn't that weird? Isn't that scary? Yeah, vinegar-based necromancy, exactly. Simply eat the zombie. Guys, why are we cutting the heads off of zombies and trying to explode them? We could just eat them. That's a great point. Limburger cheese. I've never had that. My brother swears blue cheese gives him lucid dreams. I wouldn't doubt it, Lamar. I've heard cheese gives people nightmares. Moldy cheese tastes good then. Oh, Kitsune. I prefer black mold. Ew. Blue has the mold added and white does not. Oh, I see. Okay. Stinky cheese is an indicator that the flavor of the cheese is strong. Whether you like the strong taste or not is up to you. Is that always the case, Mecha? I don't think that's always the case. I don't know if stink directly correlates to the strength of the taste. I'm not sure about that. I'm not knowledgeable enough about that. Hi, Samui, welcome in. Lady Saffron, hi, you built a desk? Let's go. Welcome, guys. Everybody, Lady Saffron debuted her 2.0. Sorry, I can't talk today. Lady Saffron Lady Saffron debuted her 2.0 model very recently, so please go give her some love. She rigged it herself. I believe she rigged it herself. So yeah, like, go give her some love. Hi, Lady Saffron, welcome in. Good job on the desk. I'm proud of you. Hi, Ruka, welcome in. You have a good day too. It's good to see you. Hi, Ranko. No, not always. There are cheeses with a strong scent but mild taste, by the way. That's what I thought, Ranko. Welcome in. Hi. Happy Tuesday. I rigged it and thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of her, guys. She's very talented. Please go give her some love. Remember to hydrate today, girl. Cheese talk reminds me of a scene. I asked for cheese and not a biological weapon. Wait, what is that from, Joel? Why does that sound familiar? Also, hi. Terpenter murder. Did I sound like that, Momos? Did I sound like that? Yeah, the stream is really cool. I'm so proud of all my friends. They're doing such amazing stuff. Like, one of the best parts of being a VTuber is that I get to see like what my friends are cooking and how creative they are. You know what I mean? They inspire me every single day. Red Leicester cheese is great. Am I pronouncing that right, Infernal? Is it Leicester? The American wolf in me wants to say Leicester, but that's not right. It's Leicester, right? In small quantities, it's quite rich. Ah, that makes sense. I wonder if people back in the day, because I know gout was a problem. Like, the rich people would get gout because they would eat rich foods. I'm wondering if cheese was part of that. Do you guys think so? No, because cheese was a commoner's food as well. Like, it was an everybody's food, if I remember correctly. Bossy gets insider information. Yeah, I'm full of secrets. I'm full of awesome secrets you guys don't even know about. Hi, Joshua. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Leicester. Leicester? Leicestershire. Hey, stop making it harder. Got it in one. We got it in one, Ruff Scaling. Hi, Velvet. I hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you defeat the ISP boss. Thank you. I mostly did, although sometimes I get rabies. Sometimes my body gets rabies, so I apologize for that, but it's good to see you. Hi. Hi. Hello. We're not wired right now. We're on the Wi-Fi, which is anathema to everything I stand for, but we're making it work. Gout is from uric acid crystals in the joints. Yes, and it's caused by super fatty foods. She's full of cheese and secrets. Eagle, how do you know that? I haven't eaten any cheese today, I'll have you know. Actually, you know what's a really good combo I discovered recently? Chocolate and sour cream. I think I told you guys about this, but chocolate pudding and sour cream is so good. You guys should try it sometime if you doubt me. I know that's not cheese per se, but it is really tasty. The insider information is generally also the outsider information because VTubers be tweeting. That's true, Lady Saffron, but I think the more professional VTubers tend to not tweet as much, if that makes sense. I think the VTubers who have a more professional sort of vibe to them tend to keep their little secrets to themselves. You know what I'm saying? I would say especially the girls that I know, because they were formerly either currently in a corpo or formerly corpo. They tend to be a little bit more like, you know, reined in with their tweets and stuff. I believe it. Yeah, you should try it. Cottage cheese would be good. I hate cottage cheese's texture. I love its taste, but I hate the texture. I think I'm gonna start blending my cottage cheese maybe and see if like that helps, but I freaking hate that texture. It's creamy and chunky. It's the worst. It's awful. I want it one or the other. Hi, Daichi. Welcome in. Thank you for the first time chat. Good morning to you too. Hi. We're just yapping in this scary forest. Yogurt and chocolate. Ooh, yogurt and chocolate's really good too. Professional? Question mark VTuber? I know, it's more likely than you think. Says the wolf who regularly collaborates with Tomomi. Yeah, because she's my friend, Doodle. It's like a thick oatmeal. Ah, I see. Okay. Oh, cottage cheese is? Yeah, it's like thick oatmeal. And it's also like lumpier and grosser. Leicester equals Leicester. 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 Why are you guys naming a place after lice? Why are you naming a cheese with the word lice in it? I don't get it. Hey, Europe, explain. Hey, England, explain. Why would you name a place after lice? I'm so confused. I like to dip Lay's chips in cottage cheese. Interesting, Chuck. Yeah, I wish I liked the texture better. I actually didn't stream it. I didn't stream what, Ghost? Huh? What didn't I stream? I'm confused. Bugs like cheese too. Yeah, bugs really love cheese. It's true. Follow the smell of cheese out of the spooky woods. Okay, I see, Kieran. All right, all right. I can smell it now. It's brie. It smells like brie baking in the oven. I love brie. Do you guys like brie? I love brie. I think I've told you my brie secrets. I like putting caramelized apples and caramel on top of brie and then baking that. I like putting caramelized onions, red onions, on top of it. Like you put a little balsamic vinegar, some red onions, and some brown sugar, and then you put that on top of brie, and you can bake that. It's really good. There's also walnuts. Walnuts, delicious. But yeah, there's a lot of really fun things you can do with baked brie. I was being over dramatic about missing a SAF stream, but she didn't actually stream building her desk. Oh, gotcha, Ghost. I have friends in Corpo? Yeah, Daichi. I am also formerly of Corpo. Yeah. Here in Brazil, the best cheese is called prata, or silver in English. Ooh, nice. Oh, like plata? Like platinum? Plata? Like platinum? Like silver? I'm connecting the dots? I'm connecting the linguistic dots? Plata equals platinum equals silver? We're streaming from McDonald's bathroom. It's true, we are. Actually, it's a scary woods. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So many different cheeses and I can't eat most of them. I'm sorry, Kieran. Yeah, people who can't eat, I feel bad for people who can't eat cheese. Isn't Brea the cheese that's becoming harder to make? Brea? Oh, Brie Legend? I think, maybe? That'd be tasty. It is really tasty. I like making, during Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving, I really like to make different wheels of baked brie with stuff on top of them. Pigs in a blanket baked brie? Ooh, how do you do that, Cuomo? I'm curious. How do you do that? I'm correct? Plata is a Spanish word for silver. Let's go! Romance languages. I got your number. I'm so smart. I'm so smart. SMRT. No vowel in there, just smirt. Plata silver. Ah, interesting. Okay, okay. Yeah, I can't believe I caught that. I love language, guys. I love catching things like that. I'm really sad that I wasn't born with like a knowledge of like at least 3 to 4 working languages. Because I really love the connections and stuff. Like in Japanese, for instance, I think Japanese, I was studying Korean during quarantine. In Japanese, the word for popularity is kinki. And then in Korean, the word for popularity is inki. So they sound very similar. Inki and kinki. Isn't it interesting? I can't imagine how many like Chinese, like in Chinese, there's like a bunch of dialects of Chinese. I can't imagine how many cool like connections there are in Chinese too, you know? I wish I could find the time to learn German. Yeah, German seems really interesting to learn. Do I have the reverb on? Hi, Daichi. Yeah, we're in a scary forest. Wait, let me check. Do I have the reverb on? Do I have the reverb on twice? Is that what you guys are trying to tell me? Uh-oh. No, I don't have the reverb on. We're just in a McDonald's bathroom, that's all. Wait until you learn what that means in English, huh? What means what in English? Huh? I think the stain of mold that makes brie is losing genetic diversity. Ah, that makes sense, Legend. Interesting. Yeah, I bet cheese making is really complicated. There's probably a lot of bacterial... Honestly, there's probably a lot of science that goes behind cheese making, now that I think about it. Spanish miners discovered platinum in Latin America. Ah, that's so cool. You can trace language through, like, historical events as well, like that. You know what I mean? That's what I love about language, is it's like basically a history. You know? History of the world. A scary forest full of jellyfish zombies and cheese. Yeah, we're gonna stumble into a cave, and it's gonna be full of it's gonna be one of the cheese caves. Chinese is one of the only ones I can't follow a single word to. It does sound nice. I do like tonal languages. Tonal languages like tickle my ears like the right way. I don't know how to describe it, but like whenever I hear a tonal language, I'm like, I pay more attention, I guess. Does that make sense? Like when I hear a tonal language, I'm like, wait, and my ears go burp. My ears go straight up burp. Like that. Chinese is a landmine of homonyms. Oh, I bet, Don. It's like a really hard language to learn, I think, for Western speakers in general. I remember hearing Korean language is invented because... Oh, really, Reeser? I don't know if that's true. I think the Korean language dates back really, really far. Actually, there's a really interesting anecdote, historical anecdote about Hangul, which is the Korean language. So unlike a lot of Asian languages where a lot of times writing was reserved for rich people, right? Because they're in Chinese, which was like the predominant writing style, just how like English is kind of the predominant language of modern, I would say it's a very popular language in the modern world. Back in the day, Chinese in the Eastern Hemisphere was like a very ubiquitous language. And so the only people who could read it, however, were rich people and scholars, because Chinese has like a ton of kanji. There's like 5,000 characters. For basic, you need to know 5,000 characters for even like basic legibility, right? But that's not even counting the other thousands of characters there are, right? So a lot of times reading, the act of reading was reserved for rich people and scholars. But there was a Korean king, and at the time Korea was a satellite nation, I believe, of China. This is way back, like the 1300s. This is even farther back, I would say like 800. We're going in like BC era type stuff. And so he invented a language. He was tired of that. He's like, you know what? I want the common people to read. And so he created a language, a reading language, and that is the Korean that we see today. Like the Korean characters we see, that is the same language that the king invented all those many, many years ago to make it easy for commoners to read. Yeah, he invented Hangul. Hi, Board. Welcome in. Hello. We have older brie strains from cheese caves, but they're less consistent. Oh, interesting, Legend. But yeah, so it's one of the really cool historical stories that I learned when researching the Korean language. Was it Sejong? I think it's King Sejong. I think it is. But he is one of the few, I would say, kings who nationalized a simpler language so that the commoners could read it and write it. Yeah, they made an alphabet. The more accessible, the more knowledge spreads. Precisely. So that guy, in my book, that guy rules in my book. Shout out to that guy. He's awesome. That's why I like romance languages. They're super easy to learn. I've heard that they're easy. Once you know one romance language, it's kind of easy to learn the rest. He's in Civ 6. Oh, nice, David. Nice. Bossy Lore Master. Yeah. Hi, boss. I'm here for the promised rabies, but I'll take the Korean history lesson. Hi, Francis. Welcome in. I don't know much about Korean history, but I do know about that one really cool king. It's good to see you. Hi. Hi, Saku. Hi. Everybody's name is different today, so I'm sorry if I'm calling you different things. He sounds like a good king. Yeah, he sounds like a decent guy, you know? It's very rare to have a king be a decent guy, I feel like. Just because, like, imagine like growing up as a king. Like, you're told you're special all the time. You get special privileges. Nobody says no to you. I imagine that creates a lot of arrogant and narcissistic and stuck-up kings, you know? So it's rare to have, like, a king that's got, you know, I don't know, a good head on his shoulders, I guess. Yeah, Hangul is really smart too. The way when I was learning to read it, it's just like so simple to read. Once you understand it, you're like, oh my god, there's like a really simple brilliance to it, which I really appreciate. But I love languages. I'm kind of a language nerd. I don't speak many, but I like learning about it. Yeah, Queen Sunduk. So Queen Sunduk actually was one of the first astronomers, believe it or not. Queen Sunduk, she created astronomy towers. She's really, really cool. She created astronomy towers so that people could climb up them and map the stars. And later, other cultures basically took that tower idea and expanded upon it. But she was one of the first to create like a proper astronomer, like an astronomer sect, basically, like people who specifically study the stars. At least in Asia, I think. Yeah. I know that there's a lot of seafaring cultures, like in Hawaii. Hawaiians were actually studying the stars for a long, long, long time. They have to, right, to navigate. It's theorized that Hawaiians, I believe, came, like they traveled from Australia, I want to say. Either Australia or one of the, no, it wasn't Australia. It's one of the smaller, they came from way south, basically. They crossed the entire Pacific Ocean from the smaller islands and headed north and came across Hawaii. But yeah, they navigate solely using the stars, which is fascinating. And for a while, we didn't think it could be done. For a while, modern astronomers were like, there's no way that you can do that. And then there was one guy, actually, what's his name? He proved it. He proved it by navigating from, let me see if I can find him. Hawaiian guy who navigated. No, Hokulea is a star goddess. There's a guy, was it Nainoa Thompson? I think it might have been Nainoa Thompson. Yeah, so he sailed across the Pacific in a traditional double-hulled canoe and using only the wind and stars for directions and nothing else. Was it Thor? Thor Hader? I don't know if that's his name. Most of them didn't want knowledge to spread. That's how they stayed on top. Precisely, Spinach. Yeah, the people in power did not want the other people to learn, the commoners to learn how to read. But yeah. Modern people doubt the intelligence and ingenuity of people in the past. Yeah, precisely. It's why a lot of people are like, hey, aliens built the pyramids. But it's like, nah, man, people built the pyramids. People can be that smart, believe it or not. Without a mariner's astrolabe. Yeah, he didn't use anything. He sailed from, he sailed across the Pacific. Where did he sail from? Let me see if I can find him. He did the simple boat to Hawaii thing. Ah, very cool. I think I've heard about Nainoa because he's Hawaiian. I deserve. Oh, Wikipedia's asking me for money, guys. Copernico? Who's Copernico, Patchy? The only thing aliens built was Dairy Queen, true. And the cheese caves. Okay, where did he sail from? He is the first Hawaiian to practice the ancient Polynesian art of navigation since the 14th century. He navigated 2 double-hulled canoes from Hawaii to the other island nations in Polynesia without the aid of Western instruments. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Anyway, all this to say that you humans tend to doubt each other so much. You know what I mean? You humans are like, there's no way the ancient people built the pyramids or went across the ocean without any modern equipment. Like, there's no way, man. You guys doubt each other. Why you doubt each other like that? Hi, Kaida, welcome in. Thank you for the first time chat. How you doing? They knew a ton of astronomy stuff way before everyone else. Yeah, that's the thing, too. I think the ancient world, considering the ancient world was so separated, right? They didn't have a lot of, like, modern communication methods. So, like, I think it's kind of, like, disingenuous to say that, like, you know, nobody knew how to do XYZ when we don't really know that. I think a lot of pockets of humanity were isolated in the early years of humanity. And so who knows what they discovered, but they couldn't really share it, right? Because they weren't really connected, you know? They weren't all interconnected. Ancient people had a lot of time on their hands. True. Once the agricultural revolution started and humans started like settling down and like farming and stuff, you guys had a lot of time on your hands, which is why art happened, right? Art and pottery and stuff like that. How did the Egyptians get the pyramids so straight? That's an easy question, Kaida. They obviously used a ruler. They obviously used a 12-foot standardized American high school ruler. Next question. Yeah, and like you can't write it down, right? A lot of these cultures didn't have paper or pens or anything like that. So they couldn't write it down either, typically. Certain stuff like pottery and metallurgy survives pretty well, so we can say people didn't know that if there's nothing left. That's true. Pottery is also a way to communicate in a manner of speaking. They use good old-fashioned magic. Wolf High School had 12-foot rulers. Oh, did I say 12 feet? I meant 12 inches. Sorry about that. I slipped. There's a cool documentary called The Mummy about the guy Imhotep that helped with that or something. Really, Maka? Yeah, the movie The Mummy is a documentary about how the pyramids were made, actually. They built a cube first and then cut it into a pyramid. Oh, do you think, Kieran? That'd be interesting. They used water to get the pyramid so straight? Wow, that's a lot of water. I mean, they did have the Nile right there. The pharaoh, 12-foot ruler. The pharaohs were that tall. I mean, listen, they were gods, you know. So they better be at least 12 feet tall. Yeah, The Mummy is a great historical documentary with a lot of true accuracies. Not the bad one with Tom Cruise. Did they make a bad one? There's a bad mummy? No, we're obviously talking about any mummy without Brendan Fraser in it is not a mummy I want to see. You know what I mean? Depends on the pottery. Early ceramics don't survive. There is proof a professor in the archaeological department who was teased by other professors about prairie crudware. Oh, that's rough, mister. The Tom Cruise one is so bad. Wait, when did they make the Tom Cruise? When did I miss this? My favorite YouTube pyramids channel is History for Granite. Very bad. Oh, dang it. Why did I miss this? They did a reboot of The Mummy with Tom Cruise trying to start a monster cinematic universe in the late 2000s, 10s when everyone wanted Avengers money. Ah, 2012. That explains it. I was living in the middle of nowhere in 2012. I was hunting out in the woods with Bossy Mom. Yeah, thankfully I missed it. Yeah. Wasn't the Tom Cruise movie set in China? I'm sorry. The Mummy movie was set in China? They tried to make Avengers with monsters. What? It was the one with the trailer uploaded without the sounds. It was just Tom screaming awkwardly. That's guys, the more you're telling me about this, the more glad I am that I didn't encounter this. That's the third one. Brendan Fraser. Oh, the third one was in China. Oh, that's right. The third one did. Yeah, there was a moment where they. Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot. I haven't seen the third one in a while. I've seen the first one many times. Which is the one? Which was the one where the beetles go under their skin? You guys remember that? There's a mummy movie where like the scarabs crawl under their skin and eat them. Which one is that? That was an awesome movie. Called The Dark Universe. Ah, the first one. Okay, the first one had skin scarabs. Yeah. The first one was that ruled. Hi Yoshi, thank you for the first time chat. Was the first one? Okay, cool. No wonder I like the first one so much. Are the Mummy movies about vampires or werewolves? It's about mommies, Chalix. There's a lot of mommies in the Mummy movie. The monster is mommy. Yeah. Why do you think it's? Yeah. Anyway. It's just, they decided it was a British studio that developed The Mummy, so they used the MUM instead of the MOM, but it was originally called The Mommy. And she walked around in a bathrobe and said, you kids are too loud. That was the original script. The first one was the best. It was, Dad. I really like the first one. Yeah, The Mummy I would say The Mummy is one of the greatest movies of all time, to be honest. It's really good. It's just solid. It's just a fun adventure, and it's got good writing. You know, like the dialogue isn't like super, the dialogue's campy without being like overly dramatic, basically. Hi, butt. Sorry, ma'am. No, it's not called the mammy, but it's not called the mammy. It's called the mummy. Bonky Moon. 12-foot Egyptian mommy, you say? Yes, Rapscallion. That was in the Mummy movie. You guys should go watch it. That's a really old MILF. She prefers the term, ZILF, which is like a super mom. Wait, hold on. She prefers the term GILF, but that's because she's a god, not because she's a grandma. Was Fran Drescher in it? I don't think so, Underseer. Don't give me the question mark. I redid the joke. Zilf, zombie, I would friend. Yes, Dad. Thank you for that. Thank you. She prefers well-aged. Yeah, you gotta leave your MILFs out. You gotta leave your MILFs out like 12 hours before you cook them. You know what I mean? You gotta let the MILFs come to room temp. ILF? Not the ILF, Bromstein. What does ILF stand for? I haven't heard the name Fran Drescher. Fran Drescher had a great sense of style on that show. I like Fran Drescher a lot. I finished packing for a camping trip. Let's go, Alexander. Welcome in. Hi. Hi, Eli. They had a whole pantheon of gilfs. Yeah, it's true. I think the Egyptian, if I remember correctly, I was like obsessed with the Egyptian, like the Egyptian pantheon when I was a kid. I had like an encyclopedia that was like, they took the organs out and put them in jars. And I was like, whoa. As a young wolf, I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And I read a lot about like, you know, Isis and Osiris and Thoth and all of them. Thoth was my favorite. Thoth, I was like, dang, Thoth. I like Thoth a lot. He does the weighing and stuff. He does the weighing of the mortal hearts. He's pretty cool. He also has like these cool hounds that'll eat you if your heart's evil or something. Like golden hounds. I gotta get to trivia. Bye, Spinach. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, so much knowledge is such a tiny head. Yeah, I pretty much read a lot of encyclopedias when I was a young wolf. A lot of encyclopedias. And now it's just all regurgitated incorrect. All that comes out is regurgitated incorrect garbage most of the time. Why do you think I like Wikipedia so much? It's basically a giant encyclopedia, but without pictures. Sometimes there's pictures. The trifecta of kid pantheons: ancient Egypt, ancient Norse, and dinosaur. I think Greek is also one, Lemuru. Okay, were you guys an ancient Egyptian kid, an ancient Greek kid, or a dinosaur kid? Which one? Which one were you guys? Can I guess? Probably dinosaurs. Probably Greek mythology and dinosaurs, right? I like how she changed pronunciation from Thoth to Thoth. His name is Thoth. Romans. No, that wasn't an option. It's Greece. Rome is technically Roman mythology is also technically Greek mythology. And that I'm gonna stand by that, okay? I'm not a scholar, but it's true. I was a Percy Jackson. Oh yeah, Percy Jackson's Greek. That's Greek mythology. It's pronounced Todd. Hey Bab, what? Rome and Transformers. Okay, Roman and Greek are the same thing, guys. Back in the day, Roman and Greek mythology were bundled together, and you can't tell me they weren't. I was more 20th century. Oh, okay, so the robber barons of the industrial era, my bubs. That's good to know. Zeus riding into battle on a T-Rex. God, that would be so cool, Greaser. Damn. The first Mummy movie is the one with Boris Karloff, the same guy as Frankenstein's monster. Wait, Boris Karloff? Frankenstein's monster is I remember liking that movie. I didn't know he was in The Mummy. More like Medieval Knights. Does that count? I guess that counts, Chunky. I guess that counts a little bit. I liked Egypt, but I didn't get into Norse until I was in high school. Yeah, I feel like Norse was kind of like a little... It wasn't as like heavily marketed towards children, I think. At least not in American wolf schools. Probably because it's pagan. Probably because it's very obviously pagan. And here in America, American wolf schools, that tends to not fly. Roman myth is Greek, taken and changed with names to clear copyright. I hate that you're right, Server, but you're right. Aztecs. Oh, interesting, Ta. Aztec. Yeah, Aztec stuff was really interesting to learn about as a kid. Mayan and Aztec. And Inca. There's a small acting pool for old horror films. That's true, Eyes. That's very true. I forget how small old Hollywood was. Young Jolly was all about the March of the 10,000. March? Of course you were, Jolly. Of course you were. That makes sense. Yeah, that mysteriously didn't cut it here. I remember getting a Norse myth picture book in middle school. Ooh, that's cool. Closest I got to being a Norse kid was the Techno Viking video. I've never heard of that, Understeer. I remember I read a book when I was very, very young about like a guy, I think it was like a historical fiction about a kid that gets kidnapped by Vikings and then like lives their life and becomes like a chief or something like that, whatever they call them. And I remember there was like a really elaborate, it was a book I should not have been reading. It was like an adult book because there was segs in it and stuff. But I remember at one point there was a scene where like they put a bunch of horses in a pit and then slaughter, and then like the lady who was interested was like a priestess, and she like killed all the horses and gave them to Odin or something. I don't know Techno Viking. No, what's Techno Viking? I need to watch Techno Viking right now? Okay. Techno Viking. Is this gonna be bad? Is this gonna be bad or good? Techno. Techno Viking. The original Techno Viking video, it's 4 minutes. Knee cam. Okay, we're watching Techno Viking together, Hotties. Oh man. Oh, they're basically in a club, but on the street. Okay. Again. Okay. It's an ancient meme. I've never seen this. You guys are old. You can tell by the film grain here that you guys are old. Hi, Dean. Welcome in. How are you? Techno Viking's an old meme, but it checks out. Okay. Okay, he's completely shirtless. Okay. Somebody's got a whistle. They're going hard on it. Okay, so he's just walking. Okay, now he's starting to dance. Sorry, I'm skipping through a little bit. Oh my god, he starts dancing at 1:35. Whoa! He starts doing a walking dance. Hey, this is just like those kids under the bridge, the cybergoth kids. This is basically the predecessor to the cybergoth kids under the bridge dance. Bye, Bossy. Bye, BK. Thanks for hanging out. What does he get handed? Just a piece of paper? And now he's ripping it up? And his titties are bouncing? Why is titties bouncing like that? Sir, get a bra. Oh, the music's good though. It's very European techno. Okay. Okay. So he just, is this Aura? Is this what Aura is? Hi, Con, welcome in. The Hotties are showing me the Techno Viking video. If you're familiar with it. It was recorded in Germany. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, well that's great. So what about this is, I mean, that's nice. He did kind of slay it, but what is this about? Explain to me why you like this. Hi, Sunny Kyoso. Sa, is that you? I'm sorry, Sa. Everybody's names are all mixed up. Hi. Welcome in. Just the slay. Oh yeah, he was slaying for sure. He is cool. People used to like techno. I like techno, Night. I love techno. It's about the intensity in his eyes. I couldn't look at his eyes. I was distracted by his beard. It's YouTube trolling. Yeah, we're basically trolling YouTube. His Viking aesthetics. Ah. Oh, that reminds me. I had a... So, remember the World of Warcraft guild I told you guys I was in? You may not know this about me, but I used to raid Mythic World of Warcraft. And there was I had a member of the team, one of the DPS people, because of course it was a DPS. He got really into the Viking Assassin's Creed. And he got really into that, and that became his whole personality. Like, he changed his entire life. He did his interior decorating to be Viking. He did his, like, he only started, quote unquote, eating meat. He started, like, doing a beard with, like, beads in it. And, like, just, like, his entire aesthetic became the Viking aesthetic because of the Viking Assassin's Creed. I think? No, wait. Was it God of War? It was either the Viking Assassin's Creed or the God of War. One of those two. I don't remember which one it was. Did he drink meat? I think he liked beer. I think he liked ale. Also, hi, Greed, hi. There's a shorter video made with some subtitles. Oh, thank you, Patchy. I'll check it out. It was yeah, maybe it was God of War. Yeah, you can't say he didn't commit. Very true. Impressionable young lads. Yeah, exactly. I feel like the Viking aesthetic does tend to impress itself upon young lads at some point. Is he American? Yes. Yes. I think so. I don't know if he raided any villages. I don't know if he was actually like, I don't even think he liked working out. I remember correctly, he doesn't even like working out. He just liked the aesthetic so much, it became like all of his interior decorating became like runes and stuff. It was crazy. He's a Nordaboo. Yeah, a Nordaboo. I guess that's a good word for them. It kind of got me too when I was younger. That's fair, Bogan. I think some of their aesthetics are good. Maybe connected to the Viking show, that history. Oh yeah, there was a Viking show night. I remember that. Yeah, did he brew his own mead? No. No, he didn't. He doesn't know how to do any cooking. He was very proud of the fact that he did not know how to do any cooking. He would just throw his steaks in the oven and that was it. He would always say, I don't know how to cook. And I'd be like, okay. Okay, so I assume if you don't know how to cook, you probably don't know how to make mead, but maybe, I don't know. There's a certain kind of scrawny WoW nerd that gets into Viking culture. Yeah, you know what? If he's living his best life, good for him. You know what I'm saying? If you don't raid monasteries for gold, can you really call yourself a Viking? That's what I'm saying. I think, like, from a historical standpoint, a lot of people associate Viking with one thing, but it's really important to note, and I didn't know this before I did my own Wikipedia research, so maybe it's wrong, but I mean, Wikipedia's tends to be, it's pretty good on the broader strokes, right? It's not good for, like, you know, fine learning, but for the broader strokes, it's pretty good. Viking is not it's actually a job title. Like, the word Viking does not refer to any one particular type of person. It's just a job title. It means raider, right? So, like, it's fascinating that, like, the word Viking has become shorthand in the modern era for, like, something that's much different than what a Viking actually was. It doesn't refer to John Viking. No, it doesn't. But yeah, I didn't know this, but Viking is a job title, which is fascinating to me. Because I thought it, like a lot of people, I thought it was one thing, but it's very much, it's basically like it's like saying street sweeper, right? I thought it meant warrior. It actually means raider, or one who raids, Maximus, which is fascinating. If Fallout raiders were more like Vikings, I'd take them seriously. True, server. It depends on where you were. They were the Danes, Norse, and Rus. Yeah, they were called a lot of different things. I think, depending on the area that they that they came from when they raided. But typically, Viking was like a job title that you were given, which is really by the people that you raided, which is wild to me. Going a Viking was the adventure and the friends made along the way. Precisely, Hammer. It's very much like a pirate. Like, Viking and pirate are kind of the same thing. Like, you're called a pirate by the people you steal from, but you don't really consider yourself a pirate. right? It's kind of the same idea. Like you're called a Viking by the people you raid, but you don't really consider yourself. It's just like your way of life, right? You might adopt the name as like a badge of like honor, but in general, people would call you that because it's what you did. They are in the name of action. They were named after the action of going on a Viking, which is what raids were called. Ah, shit, bro. We got viked. We got viked, bro. I learned about them by watching the Vinland Saga. Oh, interesting, Eli. It's like the blokes getting together on Saturday. Yeah, precisely. Norseman was the most common in Western Europe. Interesting, Knight. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super. That's what they keep yelling at us. Yeah, precisely. I'm not a pirate. I'm a privateer. Apples to oranges. Yeah. Every pirate I really love identifies as a professional pirate in the form of a song, no less. Very true, Mecha. I love the professional pirate songs. One of my favorites. Yeah, they viked us. This makes the baddies in the new Mad Max movie make more sense. Does it, Kieran? Yeah, I don't know. When I learned that Viking was actually a title, it kind of changed my whole perspective. And it also highlighted to me how things are oftentimes, when we look at ancient history and how it intersects with modern history, things are often cherry-picked from ancient history and like just picked out, like, and by cherry-picked I mean picked out of their surrounding environments and their surrounding causalities and just sort of put up on a pedestal as an independent thing that springs up out of nowhere, that springs up without any context to it, right? It's really it's fascinating how like the modern history and ancient history intersect in that way. In England, they eventually called them Danes regardless of where they're from. Vikings were so good, the Byzantine Empire incorporated them to be the emperor's personal bodyguards, and they're called the Varangian Guards. Wow, Grisa, I didn't know that. I knew about the Varangians. I didn't know they were Vikings. They were called Danes because the invaders at the time in the late 80s were from Denmark. I do believe that, yeah, I think Danes, obviously Vikings is a term that wasn't used everywhere. But I think it caught on popularity to describe, it's kind of an umbrella term. If what I remember from like the ancient history was correct, it was kind of an umbrella term for like people who raid from, I think, the north, but it was also applied to just people who raid in general eventually. You know? Saf might know something. That's true. I don't think she's here though, Chalix. I think my VTuber friends come in and say hi and then go do their business because they're busy ladies. But yeah, it's really fascinating. I gotta brush up more on like the actual history of Viking stuff and like how that sort of came to be. I do know that there were Vikings in North America. I think before, if I remember correctly, there were like Vikings in like modern day Nova Scotia. They sailed all over and they touched down on modern day Nova Scotia, I think, more than a little bit, which is really fascinating. Way before Columbus. No horned helmets. Ah, yeah. Are those fake? Are horned helmets fake? Vinland. Is that called Vinland? I didn't know that. The only confirmed site is in Newfoundland. Lans Almeida. What does that mean, Doodle? I was on the way there last year. As a Viking, Doodle? You were a Viking last year? Congratulations. You were time traveling, I see. Hi, Marcus. Yes, they are. Bossy wears a horned helmet for her ears. No, my ears wouldn't fit inside of a horned helmet. What are you talking about? Vinland was North America. Ah, I see. Hey, is that ghostly Todd getting closer? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He would never be getting closer. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. He's perfectly still. They call them the Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, the Vikings would have loved... RIP Vikings, you would have loved Raid Shadow Legends. Hi, Shiny Egg, welcome in. Hello, it's good to see you. Hi. The horned helmets originated in opera. Ah, I see. Opera tends to dramatize things a lot. It's true. Opera tends to dramatize things. There was something I read the other day that was talking about how opera dramatized a certain thing. I forget what it was, though. I forget what it was. It might have been absinthe. No, maybe it wasn't absinthe. It was something though. Like a common belief actually wasn't true. It was just dramatized by opera, and so everybody started believing it was true. The second you're not running, Bossy, is the second Todd Howard gets closer. Hey, don't say scary things like that, Baldo. He's gonna force me to play Starfield, I'm pretty sure. Is that a Starfield logo? I don't know, is it? There's a settlement in Canada for a bit, but they left fairly quickly. I wonder if there's more settlements we just haven't found. It couldn't be Starfield, that'd be too scary. Yeah. Why would that would be beyond levels of horror I can't. That would be horrors I can't comprehend levels. You know what I mean? I can hear him, it just works. It just works. Rabbits and carrots are like that. Bugs Bunny popularized on TV, but actual rabbits shouldn't really eat carrots. Really, Lamar? Interesting. Okay. Starfield Thursdays are upon us. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but we're a Bethesda channel. Guys, we're a Bethesda channel. At some point, we're going to have to play Starfield, guys. I know it's tough. I know it's tough. I know it's tough to come to terms with it. But at some point, we're going to have to play Starfield. Whether you like it or not. I know, very scary. Do goats eat tin cans, or is that another cartoon lie? I think that's a lie, Con. I think that it's gotta be a lie, right? You might actually get to see the ending. Nice. Bossy's gonna be surprised by Starfield because of the meme to hate it. I mean, I'm going in with a clear conscience, you know what I mean? I'm going into Starfield, when we play Starfield, I'm going into Starfield with a clear conscience. I'm not gonna make any judgments. I'm just gonna try to enjoy the game for what it is. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it when we finish it, you know? Can we play Skyrim Pinball instead? No. You get Starfield and you're gonna like it. We've seen people clipping through ships. Really, Shiny? Clipping through ships? That's insane. Surely we can play Redguard or something. Sorry, Ziv. We're gonna play Daggerfall after we finish Oblivion, which is exciting. And then we'll look into things like Redguard and Starfield. Is it still that bad? There are mods now. I'm not sure, Cinnabar. Everybody hates on it, but I'm gonna be going into it with an open mind, as they say. Stop pissing yourself over Starfield, Kano. Stop. It'll be fine. It's just a video game. Goats got that reputation because they chew all sorts of things. Yeah, that's true. Goats really do inspect things with their mouths. They're very, like, mouth-oriented. Hi, Malgosh. Welcome in. How you doing? It's good to see you. Has it been in Goodend? I'm not sure, Eli. I'm not sure. Takimi! Hi, Raiders. Hi. Welcome in. We're in a spooky forest. Da, 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 da. Hi, guys. Welcome in. How was your stream, Tsukimi? Hello. Guys, please go give Tsukimi some love. What did you play? If you guys like Plamo, if you like Gundam, Tsukimi is your girl. She plays lots of giant robot stuff. She plays lots of Gundam stuff, she does lots of Plamo. Please go check her out. She's a sweetheart. Thank you for the raid, girl. If you got to raid and run, get some food, I totally understand. Thanks for trusting me with your little guys, your little Dornians. Hi, Dornians. She's doing TCG Gacha. Tsukimi? Oh, it was Gundam TCG. Okay, Clueless. You scared me. You scared me, Clueless. I thought she was doing random TCG Gacha. Of course it's the Gundam TCG. Okay, that makes total sense. Yeah, like I was like, she's doing Gacha, but no, it's the Gundam. It's the Gundam Gacha. There's no other Gacha she would do. I know that. It's very on brand. It's true. It's very on brand. Welcome in, Lee. Welcome in, Hira. Her brand is intact. Yeah, Tsukimi and I actually met. I don't know. This is like deep lore. This is deep Bossy lore. But Tsukimi and I met because she raided me when I was playing Armored Core 6. I know. Crazy, right? And that was like, I don't know, 2 years ago. Tsukimi was one of the first VTubers that I ever saw in my life. Like, I ever encountered. So yeah, she raided me while I was playing Armored Core 6, and we've known each other ever since, and it's been a good time. Hi, all, welcome in. Thank you for the, what is that? Is that a robot doing the stanky leg? Oh, that's a Nachtweikel, isn't it? My favorite design in Armored Core 6 is the Nachtweikel. Sorry about my German. But it looks really awesome. Yeah, that was ages ago, true. I followed her, let's go! Yeah, give her some giant robot love. The Rubicons were truly on fire. They were agreed. That was a really good game. I think I did 2 endings of Armored Core 6. 2 endings, but not... I don't think I did the last. There's like a true ending I didn't do. Bless you. Thank you, Cerber. That was... Actually, that wasn't a sneeze. That was my German. I like Rusty's second AC. Ooh, Rusty's... I love Rusty's designs. Yeah, Rusty's designs is awesome. I never got big into Mecha. Yeah, that's fair, Knight. Honestly, the reason why I got into Mecha so hard is because of Code Geass. This is really embarrassing to admit. But it's because of Code Geass. That was my first... No, it was Magic Knight Rayearth. What am I saying? My very first like exposure to any giant robots was, other than Transformers. I'm sorry, I don't like Transformers. Sorry, that's my hot take. I don't like Transformers. I got into giant robots, my first exposure was Magic Knight Rayearth because they get these giant robots. And then later on I got really into Code Geass. And then after I watched Code Geass, I watched Evangelion and I didn't like it. I love the Evangelion robots. I don't like Evangelion. I know everybody's like, but the story, Bossy, the story is full of metaphors. Bossy, you don't understand the lore and the metaphors. I don't care. I don't care. The robots are way cooler than any of the lore. Ava's very different. Yeah, it is very different, Clueless. Yeah, I feel like Evangelion, I don't know, man. And then I watched Iron-Blooded Orphans and I was like, wait a minute, Gundam rules. Oh, I also watched Aldnoah Zero. Have you guys heard of Aldnoah Zero? I watched Aldnoah Zero. That's a pretty good mecha anime. I like that one too. Aldnoah Zero was good. The edits people make are hilarious. It's true, Radical. The edits are the best part, honestly. All of the media surrounding Evangelion is way better than actual Evangelion. Even the animated, even the AMVs are... Actually, there's one point in Evangelion that I really did like. There was one point in Evangelion I did enjoy, and it's when Shinji's robot starts eating the other robot. That was a really cool build-up. That was a part of Evangelion I did like. Is when the robot started eating the other robot. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, that's happening now. Okay. Yeah, marketing. Exactly, Alsan. Exactly. 2 seconds of fishing. There's fishing in Ava? Oh, there is. That's right. Hi, Typo. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Getter Robo? I have not. Have you seen Redline? No, you guys have been telling me to watch that, though. Evangelion game on Newgrounds was iconic. I think I remember hearing about that, Gullet Help, but it was after my time. I remember hearing about that. Hi, Mockingbird. Welcome in. Gundam VR games are the best VR games right now. Really? There's Gundam VR? I gotta check that out. I did play Battletech. If you guys know Battletech at all, I should try and finish it on stream someday. We should try and play it and finish it, because I never finished Battletech. But Battletech is a really crunchy number sim, and it's about giant robots. It's a turn-based tactical strategy game with giant robots, and it's very crunchy number-wise. And I think that's why I got filtered by it. But I did enjoy it. We should finish it sometime. Have you watched Macross? Yes, Cloud Forest. Macross is great. I think the best robot design of all time is Macross, to be honest. The Macross robots are the peak of robot design. Hi, Ego, welcome in. Have you played Mecha Break? I have not. I've seen it, though. Isn't it VR? I've seen it. I really want to try. I will second Redline. Redline hits perfectly. Yeah, the aesthetic looks really good, Wolfwood. I couldn't figure out how to properly outfit the mechs. I think that's the thing, Roscoe. I think together we could probably figure it out. But by myself, playing BattleTech by myself, it was really tough. I could not figure out the crunchy numbers behind like equipping my robot with different stuff, you know. It isn't VR and it's free. Oh, very cool, Eagle. Very cool. Hi, happy Tuesday. It isn't VR. Which is the one that's VR? There's one that's VR that came out, right? Robot Alchemic Drive is the perfect mecha game. There's also that mecha game. What is it called? Mech Warrior. I've heard some both terrible things about Mech Warrior and really good things about Mech Warrior. What is your guys' opinions? I've heard like both sides. I've heard people hate it and love it. Iron Rebellion is the VR. Oh, thank you, Hita. Mech Break is fairly recently and it was released earlier this month. Ah, Mech Warrior is BattleTech. Oh, okay. So, Mech Warrior Online, yeah. Mech Warrior is fire. Why are you guys... Some people are telling me not to touch Mech Warrior, and some people are telling me it's fire. What's the truth? It's a good game, but the controls are insane. Oh, is that it? How about Dual Parallel Adventures? I've never heard of that, Sylvester. Welcome in. I do like Pat Labor. Pat Labor, I think... I was very young when I saw, like, one episode of Pat Labor. But I remember the aesthetic being really awesome. I remember that. I would love to go back and watch Pat Labor. I think there's like a bunch of OVAs too, right? MechWarrior got me into giant robots. Really, cause that's cool. MechWarrior's BattleTech, but inside the robot. Just playing Mech Quest. What's the difference, type? What's Mech Quest? Anyone for war crimes? Front mission. What do you mean front mission, Atilson? What do you mean war crimes? Full Metal Panic. Oh, I've heard about that one here. I've never seen that, I don't think. I played MechWarrior 4, but that was ages ago. You need a full-size joystick. Oh, it's one of those games. Hi, Mailforge. Lots of fire over MechWarrior editions. Yeah, people are very divided. I love that anime. Yeah, Pat Labor seems really fun, Sid. I mean, not fun, but it seems good. It seems sad. VTuber chats always make me lol. Government cheese to ancient history to mecha talk. Yeah, we've really covered the gamut today. We've really covered the gamut. I'm proud of us. We trawled new and fertile ground for yappenings. Every single time I yap with you guys, we come up with new things. The Dual Parallel Adventure is part of the Tenchi Muyo universe. I never saw Tenchi Muyo. That was before my time. I'm sorry. That was before, Tenchi Muyo was before my time. I just know that there's that alien lady who's like super like bossy, right? Front mission is more down to earth. Ah, politics and war zones and tactics. Interesting. I feel like BattleTech has a lot of that too, Etiel-san. They set up a potentially satisfying story and they don't do any of it to focus on the world's most boring boy in the world. I think Ghost, I would agree that Shinji's not a great character, but him being not a great character makes him a great character, if that makes sense. Sometimes nowadays we're really jaded about like the brown-haired anime protagonist trope. But back then I don't think it was as common. And I think Shinji's boringness is kind of, he's a very traumatized young man, right? So behind the boringness you get a lot of trauma. I don't know, there's layers there. There's layers we could talk about with Evangelion. And I think Shinji is on the surface boring, but I think there's a point to that, you know. As much as I don't like Evangelion, I can acknowledge that some of its narrative constructs, especially with the characters, is very, very good. You know? Yeah, he's very traumatized. They don't do anything with him? Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it's interesting. I think Evangelion was also plagued with a lot of like delays in the production, right? Yeah, BattleTech is very much like a space. I would say BattleTech is a space opera, to be honest. Has anyone heard of Steel Battalion? I have not, Starsky. I have not at all. What is that? I feel the same way about Akame ga Kill. I liked that the Avas needed power cables. It was really unique, Eli. I did like that too. I love getter pilots. Oh. All of them are unhinged. Are they? I remember watching a different Gundam. You guys told me this before, but it was a Gundam with a girl She, like, all of the, there was like an American Gundam, and he was like red, white, and blue, and like the pilot, like it was different countries Gundam. Which Gundam was that again? Which one was that? I think it was G. Yeah, G Gundam. Thank you. That one was off. That was unhinged. That one was unhinged. That was a crazy. That was a. I remember catching episodes of it on like late night TV, and I'm being like, what is this? I caught episodes of that, and then I caught Big O, which is still one of my favorite. I went back and I finished Big O when I was an adult, and Big O is really good. I love Big O. People adore how tropey the designs are. Yeah, Yoshi, yeah. I remember the designs most clearly. It was wild, yeah. Dorothy, yeah. Dorothy from Big O. This hand of mine is burning red. Friggin' windmill. Yeah, the windmill Gundam. I forgot there was a windmill Gundam. I didn't appreciate Big O enough as a kid. Yeah, Big O is really mind-bending. I really like Big O. That's really good. Aesthetically, it's just so good. And then you look into the story behind it, and it gets even better. The Rubiconian handshake? Yeah! Thou is judged by God, or whatever. Thou has been judged by God, unworthy. And then it kills you. I really do like giant robot media where it's like the pilots are in grave danger every time they step into the cockpit. I don't like media where it's like, oh, everything in the cockpit's nice and safe. Usually the ones I like where it's like, this cockpit's super dangerous. Hi, Mr. Rusty, welcome in. Hello, how you doing today? Steel Battalion's an old Xbox game that got cool controllers for the full experience. Oh, wow. The controller's really expensive? Oh, that's cool. It's not often you see a game that has a specialized controller. Just for it. Yeah, cast in the name of God, ye not guilty. Oh, I love Zoids. Yeah, Zoids is awesome. Zoids is the superior Transformers. Zoids is the superior Transformers. That's my hot take. No wonder Iron Blooded Orphans is my jam. Yeah, IBO is my jam. You get it now, you get it. Yeah, Zoid's Chaotic Sentry, yeah. This cockpit is lined with C4 since we ran out of airbags. Anyone remember Sakura Wars? No, I don't, Sylvester. Darling in the Franxx. Hi, Steven. Wasn't that the anime that, like, the Prime Minister commissioned to make people want to boink? Am I misremembering that? Isn't Darling in the Franxx the one where they're trying to, like, push for people to have boinking and kids? Isn't that the one? Isn't that the one? That's just a meme. Okay. All right, Hamburg. Sorry, I didn't know it was just a meme. I heard that like the Prime Minister was like, hey, we need people to boink, so let's like fund this anime studio. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. It was one with handles on the lady's hips. Oh. Have babies. There's a lot of sexual innuendo. Yeah, I don't really like that much sexual innuendo in my mecha anime. Which is why I was surprised I like Code Geass at all. Like, Code Geass has a lot of that. Sometimes it's gratuitous. I don't really like the parts of Code Geass where it's like, oh, now you see everybody's butt. I'm like, alright, this is the 5th time we've seen Callan's butt. Like, this episode. I don't need to... I know what her butt looks like, okay? I don't need to see it another 7 times. I'm here for the mecha, not the booba. Precisely, coolest. Precisely. Just butt? Yeah, they have these really weird, like, angles in Code Geass where it's, like, focusing on their butt for 5 minutes. Code Geass wasn't... Yeah, Franxx has a lot more, if I remember correctly. It's got a lot more fan service, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind fan service. I just don't like it when there's tons of it. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to absorb the lore. Can you stop showing me this ass? It's distracting me. It's distracting me from learning the lore and the story. Godinar. What is Godinar? Do I need to find Zoids content? I think you would like Zoids, Ghost. I like Zoids. Zoids is good. Zoids is good. It's about like a ragtag group of teenagers finding animal robots. It's kind of awesome. The director swears it was essential for the plot. Yeah, exactly. More like the director swears it was essential for the plot. Get it? Essential. Haha. Great joke, boss. Great joke. Yeah, it's imperative that Callan's mech cockpit is the only one that bends over. Precisely. One of the few that bends over. Hi, Adam. Yeah, check out Zoids. Zoids is really fun. Good one, boss. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Jackie. Hi. It's good to hear that you're feeling better. Hello. Hi. Hi. Good to see you. I saw that you weren't feeling well on Twitter, but I'm glad to see you again. Hello. I might enjoy Guntime Sword or Wataru. Wataru. You guys are like listing like the obscure mecha. Dang. Yeah, I'm realizing I don't know as much about mecha anime as you guys do. I'm bowing out of this gracefully. I only know a couple. I know Big O, I know Battletech, I know Zoids, I know G Gundam, I know Code Geass. That's about it. Bye, Hito. Enjoy your nap. Thanks for the hydrate, Ghost. Let me get a little sippy of water. Huh. Did anyone drop Mazinger yet? I don't think so, Typo. Mashin Hiro Wataru is very cute and fun. Ah, okay. Is it an anime? I assume it's an anime first, and maybe a game later. I'm doing fine. It's all thanks to your amazing advice. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad, Jackie. I'm glad. Don't take my advice. Also, don't do that. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my freaking advice. Hi, Tsukimi. I brought the big nerds. No, I love Mecha. You know me. I love Mecha. Hi, Pyro. Hi, Patchy. I know Eskinflown. I've heard of Eskinflown. I've never seen it, Patchy. Hi, Tsukimi. Hello. It's good seeing you, girl. It's been so long. Hi. I miss you. We should yap about giant robots again. That was really fun. Eskinflown is good. Is that the one where she gets isekai'd? Which is I always get that one confused. There's another E one. That like she gets isekai'd and then there's like 4 beasts, heavenly beasts or something. Wataru is an anime about a boy who gets isekai'd and becomes a hero who pilots a cool robot. Dang. Oh, that reminds me. I do know Gargantua. There was like an anime called Gargantua of the Verdant Planet or something. That was awesome. I liked that one. That one was really cool. Yeah, we should, Zucchini. We should. I'm really busy come August and September, but after that we should hang out and collab. Gargantua. Yeah. Gargantua of the Verdant Planet. That was pretty good. I like the designs in that one too. Chamber is the best point. Hi, Ocean. Welcome in. The furball is streaming again. Where? Is the furball behind me? Is it a werewolf? I was warned about those in this forest. Welcome in. Hi. What about Gao Gai Gar? I've never heard of that, Stursky. Gao Gai Gar. Gargantua is written by Gen Urobuchi. Yeah, well, Gen Urobuchi is one of like I would say like my formative creators, believe it or not. Like I played Saya no Uta way too young. I should not have been playing Saya no Uta as young as I did. But I played Saya no Uta when I was really young, not knowing what it was about, and like I didn't understand half of it. But the writing really stuck with me. And then Madoka Magica came out, and Madoka Magica is also, I believe, written by Gen Urobuchi, and it was really good. And Madoka Magica is one of my favorite animes of all time. So Gen Urobuchi has like a soft spot in my like creative consciousness, I guess. Like I think about his work a lot, basically. Yeah, Madoka's really good. Madoka's one of my faves. Gravion was fun. I'll have to check it out, Cloudforce. Suisei no Gargantua. Ah, is that the name in Japanese? I just know it Gargantua of the Verdant Planet because it was like translated, I think, in English as that. Yeah, when I was very young, I played Saya no Uta. I should not have, but I was playing a lot of visual novels that I should not have been playing in Japanese at the time. Yeah, the Urobuchi. Yeah, that's him. He's called the Butcher, I think, for short. Masamune Shiro, the author of Ghost in the Shell. Ah, I've never actually seen Ghost in the Shell from start to finish. There's so many iterations of Ghost in the Shell that I get kind of like overwhelmed and confused about which one I should watch first, you know? Because some people are like, no, don't watch that, watch the OVA. And then some people are like, no, you need to watch the full anime, but not the 1998 one. You should watch the 2003 one. And it's like it's really confusing. I feel like it's a lot like Evangelion. Ghost in the Shell and Evangelion are very similar, and that there's so many versions and so many OVAs that it's hard to figure out where to start. Hi, Stella. Hi. Do you get a lot into the Elder Scrolls lore? Yes! I know a lot about it. It's one of my favorite topics to yap about. I mean, there's giant robots in the Elder Scrolls. There's the new medium. Yeah, I bet you robot nerds didn't know that. In the Elder Scrolls in Skyrim, there's a giant robot called the new medium. And every time it gets activated, the world fractures and becomes a splinter universe, basically, called a Dragon Break. It's one of those visual novels, Tsukihime. I don't think so, Pyro. I don't think so. I played a lot, though. I played a lot, so I don't remember much. Fate Zero? I've never seen any of the Fates. Because I wasn't allowed to because it had, like, segs in it. I remember that. But for some reason, like, my mom was like, yeah, Sayanuta looks fine. She never played it. She just looked at, like, the art. I think the art. There's so many Ghosts in the Shells I can't keep up. Yeah, me too, Jackie. I think it was, like, the young girl on the cover. My mom was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. The Warp in the West? Yeah, the Warp in the West, the End of Daggerfall. Exactly, Sully, yeah. Very interesting stuff. The new medium is not piloted. The new medium is technically piloted. It's technically piloted. The new medium is technically piloted. There's just not a flesh person in there typically. It's a person's soul. In fact, it's a couple people's souls. In order to be strong enough to like pilot a new medium, you have to get a couple people's souls to band together essentially, to power it. Or you can just use the heart of a god. It's guided. Yeah, it's like guided. It's basically guided. Local Septum learns one weird trick to activate a giant robot. Aldemer hate him. Yeah, it's like necromancy mecha, basically. I never read it, but I played a lot of the game that was inspired by it, which is a fighting game named Melty Blood. Oh, cool, Pyro. I think the early 2000s were an interesting melting pot of like games becoming visual novels and visual novels becoming games and like spin-offs becoming series and like, you know, all that sort of stuff happened, I feel like, around that time. Kiwi, thank you for the super. I recommend Super Robot Wars. Thank you. I'll check it out. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a cartoon, so it must be appropriate for kids. Exactly. That was my parents' ideas. They were very wrong. Cyber get in the middle physical robot. We need an Evangelion style Morrowind mech game. That would be awesome. Like different new mediums. The Warp in the West, I mean, was a really long battle that spanned, because it was like an interdimensional battle. It could have spanned anywhere from like 100 years to like I think something like 5,000 years. So technically, we could fill that space with a whole bunch of mech fighting games, you know? Septimum Prime. Elder Scrolls been another 1,000 years. Yeah. I would love to see a futuristic take on the Elder Scrolls, you know? I think the dwarves do get pretty close to like futurism in terms of like technology and stuff. I feel like they do get really close. I think the most technologically advanced people is definitely the dwarves, I would have to say. Yeah. Because mostly it's like magic. Most of like you get things like the, what do you call it? What do you call it? Those guys that show up randomly that are like, hey, stop that. Those magic dudes that show up. Why can't I think of it? Elder Scrolls Fallout? That would be crazy. Elder Scrolls with hoverboards. Oh, yeah. Oh, frick, yeah. Yeah, the Sijic Order. Thank you, Kana. Yeah, you get the Sijic Order. Most times it's not technology that's really advanced in the Elder Scrolls. It's magic. So you get people like the Sijic Order and stuff like that. But I think the dwarves are a really cool example of like magic being really advanced and combined with, or technology really advanced and combined with magic, which is really cool. Septim had a fully fledged spaceship named Battlespire. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they made that typo. The towers are technically, they're not spaceships. The towers are not spaceships. The towers are safe spots, basically, that don't get erased when the Kalpa ends. they're not spaceships. They're just spots that don't get erased in space-time. They stay the same throughout space-time. So they're not really moving through space. They're more like space arcs. They're not spaceships. Actually they're not spaceships because they don't move through space. They're just space arcs. The Dwemer did a lot of terrible things, Clues. What are you talking about? Hi, Dip. Welcome in. Hi. We're in a spooky forest today. I've seen some art for a non-canon Michael Kirkbride story, and it had cyberpunk Dwemer. Ooh. Oh, Dunmer. Cyberpunk Dunmer. Interesting. They did? Yeah, the Dwemer tortured the Falmer. If you guys are not familiar, the Dwemer tortured the Falmer and turned them into those blind... the Falmer used to be the snow elves, and they used to have like a culture and civilization of their own, but then they got tortured by the Dwemer for science. Yay! And turned them into the Falmer. Yay! Was Battlespire actually one of the towers? I mean, it might be, Lamoro. Usually if there's a tall construction, a tall construct that can move through space-time in the Elder Scrolls, it's usually one of the towers, typically speaking. I'm sure it wasn't a tower itself. It might have been a replication of a tower. There's a possibility that like it could have been or like somebody's attempt at replicating a tower. I think I might need a PowerPoint to understand that. Too bad, Shiny Egg. Too bad. You're gonna get a PowerPoint on the Oblivion remake instead. How about that? Hi, Wanders the Abyss. Welcome in. How are you? The most evil race will be the Aliens. Really? The Aliens were tough. The Aliens were not too great. They were not too great. I'll be the first to admit that. Hi, Milk Tea. Welcome in. I think it's really important in the Elder Scrolls universe to understand that obviously not everybody of the same race is evil. Like the aliens were not all evil. Obviously, the aliens were not all evil. There were some aliens that were not, but as a whole, their cultural practices started skewing towards evil because of the Daedra influence, the schism between Daedra worship and Aedra worship, basically. Isn't the throat of the world and Red Mountain considered to be towers? Yes, Zodiac. So tower is a little bit misleading. The term tower basically just refers to a spot in space-time that is not affected by the changing of the kalpas. They're also the pillars of reality as we know it. So a tower can be built around that spot or built within that spot, but the tower is more like a spot. It can take on many different forms. The throat of the world is considered a tower, and there's a mountain there, and Red Mountain is considered a tower as well, but it's obviously a mountain. But sometimes they can build, I believe the Adamantine Tower is in fact a tower itself and also a tower. Like it's a tower that's built in the shape of a tower as well. Nice, thank you for the 5. We need a Bossymoon PowerPoint stream explaining Elder Scrolls. True, we do. It's been a while. You guys are right. It's been a while. 37 lessons ASMR. I'm thinking about it. I don't think the Dwemer had anything to compete with Gut Gardens. That's true, Toilet Gecko. Also, hi. Crude Matter, is that you? I love your other name, Toilet Gecko. Does that mean the new medium will just be chilling in the next Kalpa? The new mediums, I think the new mediums are technically towers. I think you're right. I have to research that more. I don't think so. When a new medium is not powered, I don't think it's considered a tower. But when it's powered, I think it's considered a tower. So it's a temporary tower, but it's not a permanent tower. I think. You can meet the Alien King in ESO. Really, Wanders? Yeah, we played ESO once. I'm really excited to play it again. It was really fun. I've never played the MMO, so it was a really cool experience. Emphasis on walking. Well, the new mediums are walking towers, yes, but new mediums, when they're not powered on, I think they're technically not towers. I could ask Hotties right behind you. What are you talking about? Don't scare me like that. So I think they only count, I think the new mediums are special cases where like they only count when they're on. When they're off, they're not towers. Does the Blue Moon Hideout act as a tower? No, the Blue Moon Hideout's not a tower. The Blue Moon itself is a tower. Yeah. I've been soloing ESO. Oh, nice, mister, nice. Hi, baked turkeys, welcome in. Hi, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. Is there multiple new mediums? Yes, there are multiple new mediums. That is confirmed. New mediums are very difficult to build, and they require specific ways to build them. I think Kagranok, if I remember correctly, Kagranok used like bodies to build his, right? The Tower of Crystal Lake Law in Somerset Isle was a tower, but the Daedra destroyed their variation of it because the tower somehow exists in all realities. Yeah, so the towers, think about it like a, how do I put this? Think about the towers, think of like a tower of pizzas, okay? There's a lot of pizzas. They're all flat and they're all stacked on top of each other. Different flavors, different ingredients, but there's layers to them, right? Like it's one big tower of pizzas. Then take a spear, take a bunch of spears, like a tower of giant pizzas. Take a bunch of spears that are super long and drive those spears down into the tower of pizzas all the way through, down into the bottom. So the towers are the spears. They go through, and the pizzas are the different kalpas. They're the different realities of they're both the kalpas and also like Oblivion. There's an Oblivion pizza in there somewhere. There's like, there's a Dream Sleeve of pizza in there somewhere. But the towers pierce all realities theoretically. Throw me into the pizza. Akula Khan and Morrowind did appear to have bones. Yeah, I think so Akula Khan is the no medium in Morrowind, and he was created out of the worshippers of Dagoth-Ur, I think. The Dreamers. The Dreamers and the worshippers created, like all the people who died for the cult of Dagoth-Ur become part of the new medium, I think. All of the flesh is reshaped, which is gross to think about. Are all new mediums controlled by the totem of Tiber Septim? No, I'm not exactly, Eli. So the new medium represents Lorcan's body. Okay, listen, this is getting complicated. But basically, the new medium represents Lorcan's physical whole self as a god. So Lorcan was torn apart by the other gods, right? So there's a space in the godhood for Lorcan. There's a space left over. And so the new medium is a representation of his body, and the mantle, which is what created Tiber Septim, which is an amalgamation of several different people / creatures. It gets really complicated. The mantle is the soul that makes the new medium work. However, the mantle doesn't have to be Tiber Septim. Tiber Septim is a concept. Tiber Septim is not one man. Tiber Septim is several people who came together who are powerful enough to represent or to match the soul of a god, aka Lorcan. So you can power different new mediums. Different new mediums can work at the same time. But the dragon break occurs because Lorcan is not resurrected, but is trying to be resurrected. And so the universe is like, wait, Lorcan's alive? That's not right. I have to create an alternate reality where I guess Lorcan's alive now. And the universe gets shunted into a dragon break, essentially. Like the Dread Pirate Roberts? Kind of, yes. That's what corpus disease was for. Yes, that's what corpus disease was for, to create building blocks for Akula Khan. At least that's what I believe. Hi, TK, welcome in. Yeah, through corpus, yeah. Little did you know I'm Tiber Septim. Is he called Tiber Septim because he's 7 people? I don't think so, Doodle. He's, on record, he's only 5 people, but he could also be other... Theoretically, people have mantled into Tiber Septim who are not on the same continent, who are not on the continent of Tamriel. There's a possibility that, like, Akaviri, there are powerful Akaviri, like, warlords or Akaviri mages, or, like, people who have mantled that are not on Tamriel into the mantle of Tiber Septim. So we don't know. We only know that there's, like, maybe 3. The Godhead's like, that's not canon. It's more like the Godhead says, hey, that's not right. We tore him apart. He can't be alive because we tore him apart. Basically, it's like the new medium is an incomplete resurrection of Lorcan, because it doesn't have all of his parts, basically. It's not him. And the universe understands that it's not him. But it's also him at the same time. It's trying to be him. It's hard. Listen, we'll do a PowerPoint on it eventually. We'll do a PowerPoint. Septim Empire, but it's on Akavir. The Thalmor hates Talos and Lorcan because they hate the fact Nirn was created. The Thalmor are tricky, Sella, but yes, basically the Thalmor hate Lorcan because Lorcan went against the will of the Aedra. Lorcan is an Aedra, but he went against the will of the other Aedra, so he's a traitor, and the Thalmor believe they're descended from the Aedra, and therefore they consider him a traitor. That's at its basic level, I'm really relaxing my knowledge today. Very true. Listen, the best part about the Elder Scrolls universe is that none of the lore is both real and not real at the same time, okay? There's many interpretations, and that's why I love being in Elder Scrolls. I'm kind of a scholar. A tradra. Yeah, he was a trador, a tradra. I didn't know I was back in college. No, sorry guys. I don't mean to lecture you. I remember seeing a video that was speculated there's going to be an Akavir invasion of the Septum lands in the Skyrim story. That would make sense, Knight. The Akavir have tried many times to invade Skyrim. The Akaviri have tried multiple times to invade both Morrowind and Skyrim. I think mostly Skyrim, though, for some reason. MK doesn't work for Bethesda anymore, so not all of his lore is canon. That's true, Wanders, but MK is not the only person who created the lore. There's a lot of people that created the lore. He's just sort of the front man. He's the loudest guy in the room who contributed to the Elder Scrolls lore. He's not necessarily the front runner. There's a lot of people involved in the creation of the lore, but he is the loudest one on the internet. So he's the one that people typically associate with the lore, if that makes sense. I love your lectures. Please keep going. No! No more lectures. You gotta pay me college tuition. According to Digother, Lorcan's an unstable mutant. Really? Odd said they wanted to keep Akavir and the Dwemer mysterious. That makes sense. There was a successful in invading Cyrodiil, though, or was that the Sai? Yeah, Remen, I think Remen was the one who drove the Akavir out? I think? Remen had something to do with the Akavir invasion. I just don't remember what. Please tell us more Elder Scrolls lore. That's all I got, guys. That's all I got. Tuition fees, don't worry. It's not $40,000, okay, but it is close. Those that didn't partake in the creation became the Daedra. Oh no, you're right, Typo, they did. The Daedra were the ones who didn't do anything to create Mundus, if I remember correctly. They're also trying to actively destroy Mundus. They also want to actively destroy it. Lamoro, what the frack? What the frack, Lamoro? Thank you so much for the tip. Thank you for the lecture, Boss Sensei. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now go home and study. Thank you. What the frack? I really appreciate that. Arigato. Arigato. Thank you very much. You're getting a really good dorm for that. You realize that, right? You know how in college there's like the dorms, the regular dorms, and there's like the fancy dorms? Lamoro's getting a fancy dorm, methinks. Thank you very much. Arigato. Arigato. Thank you. Bye, kitty. Don't smooch me. I'll ban you. It's like 39K bucks. Exactly, Clues. It's $39,000. Are the games themselves an Elder Scroll? Hey, we're not going to get into the meta. Hey, that's too meta for me. Favoritism? Did you guys never see that on campus? At least on American Wolf campuses. I remember there were like dorms where like literally like my friends would be in those dorms. They called them the poor people dorms. My friends would be in the poor people dorms. I never went to Wolf College. I went to Wolf Community College and then I dropped out because I hated math. But my friends I would go to their campuses and there'd be like the poor, they would call them the poor people dorms. And then there'd be dorms on the other side that were like super fancy. And I'd be like, why aren't all the dorms the same on your college campus? And they'd be like, well, some people pay extra to live in like the fancy dorms. And I was like, that's real? I thought you guys all had to suffer, like, I thought that was part of the student experience. And they're like, nope. So I had no idea that was a thing. What the hell? What the hell? You paid extra for the basement. Don't disappoint. Yeah, the very fancy basement. Kitty, thank you for the 2. Don't ear scritch and don't smooch. I'm timing you out. Get out of here. You literally disobeyed what I told you. Bye. Thank you for the soup, though. I appreciate that. I'll take that. Yummy. Explain why the Aedra don't talk to people like Daedra do. So the Aedra do talk, Top Gear. The Aedra do talk. Like, Kinnereth quite directly talks to the Nords and teaches them how to use dragon language. So there are instances of, like, the Aedra talking to people, so that's not true. They just don't do it very often, on average. Hi, Firehill, welcome in. Hi. We would go across campus to the dorm with a make-your-own pizza and stir-fry in the dining hall. Oh. Separated by class, even in college, yeah. Sucks to be, sucks to suck, I guess, huh? I never had a friend that was in the fancy dorms. I don't know why. I guess rich people don't like me. They never liked me, like, I didn't have rich friends when I was a kid. I don't know why. Oh, no, wait, I did have one friend who was really well off. But she had all of the Barbies. You guys know that Barbie? Do you guys know the Barbie Jeep? It's like that pink Jeep. She had every single Barbie ever released and also the Jeep. And I would go over to her house and I'd be like, whoa. Excuse me, I'd be like, whoa, is this how it is on the other side? Hi, Aaron, welcome in. Oh, sorry, I have dyslexia, so I read that as Aaron. Regenzar. Hello, Ray, welcome in. Thank you for the first time chat. How you doing? Yeah, the pink one you ride. Yeah, the Barbie Jeep. She was a Plamo enjoyer. I mean, if you think about it, Barbies are kind of Plamo. Yeah, the Jeep you drive. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the deer story. I mean, that friend wasn't, I think she was more middle class than anything. Her dad was a dentist. I don't think she was like super. Hi, Unholy, welcome in. It's nice to see you. Oh, hi. Yeah, she had the G-Wagon Barbie girl, and I used to drive that around. That was awesome. The Barbies are always pinker on the other side. That's a good way of putting it. Hey guys, are bobbleheads just Barbies? Are Fallout bobbleheads just Barbies? I think they might be. I remember torturing my Barbies when I was a kid. I didn't play with Barbies much. I was more into like Play-Doh and stuff. I had an American Girl doll. That was like my prized possession. I got an American Girl doll one year. Labubu's are Barbies? I don't think so. I don't think they are. I think Labubu's are freaky to look at. Colin, thank you for the 10. Full lore stream when, boss? Soon. We'll have a lore stream soon, I promise. Hi, Unholy, welcome in. I'm tired and sweaty. I worked on a security system from a convention center roof today. Oof, that sounds rough, Enray. I hope you didn't get sunburned. Put your feet up, get a little cold water. Welcome in. Hi. Oh, guys, I just realized. My collab is in 12 minutes. Oops. Guys, my collab's in 12 minutes. Uh-oh. Well, guys, we yapped too much. We yapped too much today. Okay, all right. I gotta go get some dinner in me, guys. We have a drunk collab we're doing today. Well, I'm gonna get a little tipsy on red wine. I'm gonna be playing Outlast Trials and Peak with my friends. That'll be over on Gooby Goobla's channel. I'll raid you into her channel if you are interested in that. I gotta go get some food in me before I start drinking though. So, yeah, we got to invest in the robot talk. It's so true. Yeah, thank you for the pad 626. Have fun, Bossy. Thank you. It's gonna be really fun tonight. I know this might sound weird, but I can see the VTuber model's full design and it looks very nicely drawn. Thank you, Henry. I appreciate that. Yeah, my mama did a really good job on my body. Have a good time. I will. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I forgot to show you my schedule real quick. Let me do that. Frick, I have to show you guys my schedule. Hold on, I gotta show you my schedule for the rest of the day. Quick. Ta-da! Speaking of Goo Gooby Gooba, thank you so much, Goo Gooby Gooba, for the beautiful art. She did this beautiful art for me. It looks fantastic. We both look very... This is for a panel from Chainsaw Man, if you guys don't know. Alright, so today was our Creepy Forest Zatsu stream, where we yapped a lot while it was creepy. I don't know if the content, what we talked about, was creepy, but the atmosphere is certainly creepy. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing Dark Souls 2. It's my first time playing through Dark Souls 2. We're doing the DLC. On Thursday, we're playing my first time Hotline Miami. Very excited for that game. It looks really, really fun. So Hotline Miami, come on by for that. Friday, we have a Fallout 3. It's been 10 years since I played Fallout 3, so it's been a great time playing through it. So that'll be on Friday. We always play Fallout on Fridays, actually. And then Saturday, we're gonna be playing the VSMP2. It's gonna be my first VSMP2 stream where I can show you guys around my house, and we'll do some adventures on Saturday. Gonna be really fun. That's Minecraft, by the way, in case you don't know what that is. I'm gonna show you guys my cute Minecraft house I've been working on. I'm very proud of it. And then Sunday, we're having a members-only ASMR stream before the next week to calm you guys down from the Monday blues. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, come on by. The waiting rooms are up on YouTube, and I also dual stream to Twitch as well. So yeah, thank you guys. That's it. It's posted on my Twitter, it's posted on YouTube, and it's posted in the Discord. Enjoy your meal. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's great to meet another Elder Scrolls lore fan. Yeah, it's my whole thing. So I really liked yapping with you guys about that. We yap about a lot of stuff here at the Bossymoon channel, Bossymoon. So if you're interested in any of the other games, come on by. We'll have a little chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Sorry about the McDonald's bathroom. I'm working on getting some soundproofing. But until then, take care of yourselves and others. Make sure you eat a green thing. Make sure you get some water today. Get some good food. And until then, I'll see you later. Bye, Captain Underseer. Goodbye, Ta. Goodbye, Server. Goodbye, Jackie B. Goodbye, Kiwi. Goodbye, Lamoro. Goodbye, Mazel. Goodbye, Hammer. Goodbye, Aren. Goodbye, Callie. I almost called you Callie. Sorry, 626. Goodbye, 626. I almost did it again. Goodbye, 626. Goodbye, Creamy. Goodbye, Pyro. Goodbye, Malkash. Goodbye, Milk Tea. Goodbye, Zip. Goodbye, Face. Goodbye, Top Gear. Goodbye, Kaj. Thanks for putting up with my scuff. I'll try and figure out all this lag and stuff that's plaguing me in the McDonald's bathroom. But we might be streaming from McDonald's bathroom for quite a while. I apologize. But thanks for hanging out with me, regardless. Alright, I'm gonna read you out. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Bossy